people, and you know what? That's fine. It's just how it goes some days.
He said, "Get ready for some more. There's 2 more rounds of this." He's like, "I already got $50, but I want the other 350 coming my way."
You know, he probably locked in. We're doing 5 rounds, so he's 3-0. So he's probably locked in for top 8, which I'm very excited about. So Kano probably wins today. Just gonna say that now.
Hell yeah.
Why not? Unless he plays Dromai, and then we're just gonna have to keep that lucky streak going. I don't know. What else
Could you
to say about
imagine
that.
being Alexander Vor? You whatever. I don't know if he drove or flew, but you come on over to California. Somebody wins the tournament you're in as Kano, and you're like, I didn't play Kano, but somebody won as Kano. Yeah.
These are the choices we all have to make before every single tournament. You know, unless you're just Craig, who plays Oldhim every time, you know, you're actually thinking, should I play somebody else? And that's why I envy people who just specialize in like one thing, and I'm just over here
Being bad at
putzing
7
around.
decks.
Yeah, being bad at 7 decks instead of good at 1. So we got a special segment coming up. It's one of my favorites. I'm sure it's one of Blake's favorites. You know it. You love it. It's barraging Blake.
Oh.
It's the
Hell
beatdown
yeah.
on Blake time. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about some things. And
Trent's going to talk about Guardian cards in the chat and not pay attention to what's going on at all, you know? That's
he might
how it works.
He might be in the past. So, you know, he's watching the game.
I just realized I'm not watching live. Well, we're going to know that
Shout out to
happened,
Trent.
and everyone else at home that's watching this later will have no clue.
He's going to find out where we're at. But here we are, barraging Blake.
Time to give me the stroke that takes me out forever.
Let's have some fun. What's our first topic today? All right, a pre-release report, Blake. How was pre-release for you at Outsiders? I don't know how mine went. Wasn't great. How about you?
Okay, I don't know where this is getting at, but I went to two pre-releases, one on a Friday night.
Yep, right here at Odyssey Games.
This is what we're getting at. One on a Saturday. It's sealed both times. This isn't the draft thing that we're talking about. My 6-packs, super excited. I got my cold foil tokens. Down and Dirty was my Majestic. Ooh, that's going to not do anything for you. As we were doing it, it was like, okay, I have played Arachne. I know how this works. I'm going to play Solitary Confinement Arachne. I'm going to take these people to the cleaners. I'm going to win this. I'm taking Friday night seriously. And then I play against somebody in round 1, and I was taking it seriously, and I was like, they were like, I'm going to Spider's Bite because I forgot. And I was like, I'm good on that because that Spider Bite is going to own me. And then they were like, all right, I'm gonna rage quit and get out of here. And I was like, oh, no, that's not great. Like, but then I played Craig in round 2.
Is that really what happened?
Well.
You know what? If you miss something and your opponent doesn't allow you to happen, you have to live up with that because it was your mistake.
Oh, well, now we're piling on.
No, I'm just saying that, and it goes both ways because if you let them do it and then you lose because of it,
then
that was your choice.
Yeah.
You know, and you put that by asking someone to do that, you put that on them, and I feel very strongly about this that you probably shouldn't ask unless it's like low stakes. If it's just a regular armory.
But this is a cold foil Uzuri, man.
Yeah. We're playing for
this
it.
Is a
I
cold
won
foil
mine in a
Uzuri.
raffle, so I was
Get
fine.
out of here. If you're going to play sloppy offense and sloppy I didn't even know I was sweating that bad.
Hey, look, it's
like this from now on.
Getting down and dirty in it.
We're getting on a tangent. So basically, then I beat Craig.
Ooh,
and it was like, this is the first time I ever beat Craig in my life. And once again, it was one of those 3 times where when I beat somebody, they go, what the hell just happened? This is not supposed to be true. And I need to reevaluate my entire life. So Craig is never going to not play Pile Arachne for his whole time. Because he looked over at my deck. He had, there's like 17 cards in my graveyard. And he was like, okay, I got him on the ropes. There was still 24 cards in my graveyard when he did this.
Oh, my God.
And he was like, oh, my gosh. Yeah, Marcus Brown, it's pre-release. It's still casual area. I don't want to lose to people casually, though. I want to you're playing sloppy offense.
It is still your choice. You're not, it's not your responsibility to allow other people to make mistakes and get away with it. Like,
and then
you don't have to do it.
I lost game 3 and 4, and it was awful, and I was like, get me out of here.
It happens.
There was no point of
It happens.
being
It's casual,
aggro.
but if you're trying to win a prize, then you don't have to give people advantages when they make a mistake.
Outsider report. What we're trying to say is, I spent
Look, we're both mad about this.
$80. I got 2 Majestics, an Infiltrate, and a Down and Dirty. No legendaries, no nothing. Ruined relationships for years. Got late to the thing. Woke up, was tired. Got an ear infection afterwards. Just everything bad happened at pre-release where I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever do this again. But I love pre-release. But maybe I'll never do this again. Maybe I'll wait until the cards come out. But this is so fun. And it wasn't that fun or whatever. But
welcome to the chat.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine. Pre-release is tough because sometimes you go and you buy some packs and you open a Fable and your life feels amazing.
Fable opened up next to me.
Oh my god.
Evan got a legendary.
Yeah, we had like
Somebody
3 or 4
else got a
legendaries.
legendary that I was like, oh god,
like,
not this guy.
It's always it's always the bridesmaid, never the bride when it comes to pre-release. Am I right?
Marcus is keeping us honest. Whoa, loud noises. Yes, somebody showed up for the first time in 3 months I've seen them and dropped 5 chairs literally 3 feet that way. After begging them to come hang out on Tuesdays when there's 25 people, can't make it there, but I'm going to come and just drop a whole bunch of like full-on metal chairs from the WWE as loud as possible on stream.
I mean, you are the heel in this situation, right?
We're going to zoom through these next 3 unless it's
we both
really bad.
We both barraged on that one. Let's see. What's our next topic?
It's
the Ice Brute Hero. Rhino.
Oh my god. That didn't even make sense for a second. Ice Brute Hero is not even worth talking about. Okay, so Ice Brute Hero.
I don't know what it is. Tell me what it is.
Ice Brute Hero is never going to happen. And everyone being like, Ice Brute Hero, oh my god, I can't wait for that. Intimidate and Frostbite do not go together. There's nothing that synergizes with that. And you could say, well, that's how Brute cards goes. They don't synergize with each other. I get that argument.
That's the class design.
But if you look at Tales of Aria, are there more 6s and buffs in Ice, Lightning, or Earth? Oh, Earth. How much Ice is in Reinar's card art right there? 0. How much Earth is in his card art?
Yeah, but
100.
He's not the Ice hero.
Right.
It would be a different Ice.
Okay, so of all the cards that Ryan, what is his name? Ice Brute Hero. Let's call him Ice B.
Ice B.
No, let's call him Yeti or something. So
Yeti, he definitely would be a Yeti.
Yeti can use channel Lake Frigid. Why would you want them to? Oh, you can't block from hand.
And you have now cards you can pitch. You have more cards to pitch.
It doesn't affect them. It's like channel Bleak Expanse doesn't work for Brute. What would that do for you?
Roll them dice though.
Hypothermia's bust. The 08 can't use it. Ice Amulet 08. Like Ice Amulet is like an intimidate, but it's an actual good intimidate. Maybe that's the first argument. You would have to completely make 6 more of those. The Winter's Visit or some bull. All the 6 ice cards from, I don't even know what these cards are called. Tales of Aria, the ones no one used. Winter's Fang or something.
Oh, yeah. What's it? Frostfang.
Frostfang. Everyone there that uses these cards is like, duh. Yeah, Frostfang doesn't work with barraging like. All those ice attacks that we're talking about would not work with any of the cards that is currently in the thing. And you're like, yes, you would make new ones.
What if you could
Channel Mount Heroic, barraging,
intimidate all their cards and then give them like 8 frostbites and deal a bunch of damage? Then they have all their cards but can't do anything.
There's no way anyone behind me would play a deck different than that then. It would just be 36 people playing Yeti meta.
So it'd basically be a better old him is what we're
and it's
right
like,
now.
do you want... Oh, the Ice Brute is old him, and we just gave him a shield. Like, we've already seen that. Like, cheering for Ice Brute doesn't make sense. You don't understand the cards of Brute and how they are... A better thing would be Earth Brute, where we could Blood Rush Bellow into a Channel Mount Heroic and just do 37 damage in one turn, and we set up for that the whole time. When we Force of Nature, but we can't use that because it's a specialization.
What about a light brute?
Next slide. Let's go.
Here we
It's
go.
not worth talking. Light Brute?
Yeah, man.
Soul Shield? Buyouts? I don't even know about buyouts. Like, buyouts?
What are buyouts?
What is buyouts? So we got. I didn't do the research on Salty Whale. So what's interesting about buyouts is you're buying cards, then they're out,
And now we can't
and
get
people
those
can't
cards.
get them, and it's like, okay, that's what we're talking about. So it's like,
We found the
what
thread.
team are you on? I think this is not barraging Blake down right now. This is a morality question for you. Would you
Welcome to late stage capitalism
would
where
you-
morality no longer exists.
right? Would you rather have one person make a bunch of money, or
Mhm.
every person have access to card?
Uh,
If you say, I prefer money for my pocket over community get card, you deserve leg broke. And that's serious. Like, we're going to grow the community. We're going to grow my wallet. Some of y'all care about growing the wallet. And it is something where it's like, I'm going to root against you for the rest of my life. And like, oh, but Blake, your collection went 1.3 since last year. I'm not selling my cards. I play cards. I don't sell cards. I don't work at Frank's Sons. I don't do any of this.
yeah, I'm not Frank. I'm not his son.
Yeah. And it's like, I honestly, like, this is not spicy, but this is a scoop here, and they're gonna know who it is, but whatever. Don't buy a pack of Alpha. Welcome to Wraith for any price less than like $50, because the people you are just building up money in somebody's pocket, and they're just sitting on stuff. I know you probably want a pack of a chance to get a legendary. Don't buy a pack of Welcome to Wraith for $100 when you're in Baltimore because you want to get a chance at it's not going to happen for you. Oh, I can get a cold foil scotch. Not
Just buy a bunch of scratchers and then
yeah, like come
use
on.
the profit
Don't
from
play poker if you want to make money on a card game.
That's
like
true.
why are you and like I think one thing that buyouts are doing that I really hate about this is I am encouraging people to join this community and join this card game. And whenever you say, don't worry, tunics are $375. Like, you're just like, Jesus. They used to be $110. I get that there's more players. But like, when somebody says, oh, I opened up a tunic, great. I can sell this to someone for almost $400. It's kind of gross because I'm not trying to be charity where we give these cards away to new players, but it is kind of like a homie discount type of thing, or welcome to the community. Here's a tunic for 150, 170, like a price I've paid in the past. I'm not saying lose $200 on this because it's market value, but when we run ourselves out of players that come into this game because it's so expensive, we're all going to be looking at each other 2 years from now being like, I wish we were playing more Flesh and Blood. And then the 16 people that have mansions will have mansions.
Just Scrooge McDucking their cards
Right.
in their giant vault filled with cold foils. You know, I think this just, reiterates the truth of Tunic was a mistake.
Right.
And the biggest mistake that they can undo in this game.
Right. And it's maybe like sell your tunic now because they're going to ban
now.
it soon
Make
or whatever.
money, man.
But I think if I can soliloquy and aside or go on a tangent here,
Preach.
this is kind of like LeBron James.
Oh, it is exactly why.
LeBron James showed up to the NBA, and the NBA worked a different way before LeBron James showed up. You play for an entire franchise until they get you better players, and then when you get a better player, a second in command, you probably win. But he was like, I don't want to wait for that. I'm going to go do this on my own. Super teams exist whenever. Yeah, there's the Showtime Lakers that had a super team before, blah, blah, blah. But he was like, I'm going to make super teams, and I'm making the NBA cater to my stuff because I'm buying out. Like, it behooves the NBA to cater to me because I'm the star player. Star players in our community is people who have a bunch of money. But once LeBron plays for 20 years, and then he like ruins the NBA where it caters to him, and then what's left after LeBron retires of now everyone's just used to super teams, and now we don't have the NBA like we used to.
You lost me at sports.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
But I will agree that I don't like buyouts, and I think if cards have value, they will have value intrinsically and don't need to be
Right.
forced by buying them out,
Right.
making it harder for new players. I think, you know, it's hard enough for to get new players into this game. We'll be talking about that
Right.
a little bit later. And it doesn't really help. And if you're trying to make money,
Right.
that's great. Go do it somewhere else.
I haven't completely rolled my eyes on any of these topics yet, so I'm very worried for what's about to happen next.
It's fine. I just like that I've been hot and heavy with you in it.
Yes.
We're feeling it today. This is barraging
The double-sided beatdown.
Blake and Colin down.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got. Okay, In-N-Out is better than Whataburger. I've had both. I've had one Whataburger.
What are you about to say, Colin?
I love In-N-Out.
Well, that's very diplomatic, I guess.
I feel like Whataburger had all these choices and I didn't know what to do, and it was just like, okay, I got it.
Which at In-N-Out, they eliminate choices.
There's no choice. You get it
eat
animal
what you
style every
like.
time.
Yeah. We'll give you the only thing we have.
What is your opinion here?
It's interesting here. In-N-Out is better than Whataburger.
Is that
Allegedly.
what you're saying?
No, that is what this screen says.
This screen right here.
This screen right here. In-N-Out is better than Whataburger. These are two things. Whataburger hands down in the chat. That's the first time someone said anything. I'm from Texas, and Whataburger is my what a burger.
Whataburger.
What a burger! Like the commercials, you don't have the whole thing. In-N-Out commercial. What's your favorite In-N-Out commercial?
The one that
Doesn't
says,
exist.
In-N-Out.
That's what. Oh, actually, I guess it does exist.
They
I
do
like
radio
In-N-Out better now.
commercials, You know, I don't
so-
know why that's what their burgers are all about, though.
So Whataburger has the nostalgia for me. I'm from
Okay,
Texas.
that's fair. That's fair. Texas.
Ingredients, better ingredients, better burgers. Maybe that's at In-N-Out. But there's only one thing you can get at In-N-Out. Do you want a burger? They literally say, do you want onions? Do you not want onions? Do you want cheese? Do you not want cheese? That's it.
No,
that's
you get
all
animal
they
style.
do.
Grilled onions. It's grilled with mustard on it. Extra sauce, extra pickles.
Right. At Whataburger, they're
all I
putting A1 steak sauce on your burger.
Gross.
At Whataburger, oh, gross.
A1 steak sauce goes on
delicious.
steak, bro. What are you talking about?
Okay, so if we're gonna brass taxes, Whataburger, nostalgia for me because
That's
I
fine.
grew up there.
Yep.
In-N-Out is very good. Whataburger I can get out of in 4 minutes. In-N-Out it takes an hour and a half, and like that doesn't make the burgers worse. I get it, but it's like it's a chore to go to In-N-Out. Like somebody was like, it literally happened Friday after pre-release. Let's go to In-N-Out afterwards. I was like, great. I could really eat a burger that tastes worse than Whataburger. And I was like, we went over there. We drove over there. The line was packed completely at the box because people love In-N-Out. But I think if there was a Whataburger option here, some of y'all would be split down the middle. Whataburger is like charbroiled or whatever. In-N-Out is like grilled. There's a little bit of a difference. Whataburger is like what Burger King could taste like if it was a smaller chain. Of like, do you like the style of Burger King? You're going to go, no, I vastly prefer McDonald's. But what if Burger King was a better burger and that's Whataburger? And you're just like, oh, okay. Shakes, they had a Dr. Pepper milkshake. They've got
I don't know what that means.
taquito. Oh my goodness. Honey butter chicken biscuit alone dunks on anything on In-N-Out. So I didn't even have
What
to
does it have to
mention
do with burgers?
But it doesn't say better burger. It says is better than Whataburger.
There you go. There you go. Okay.
Unless we're doing literally In-N-Out burger is
caught me on
better
a
than what a
technicality.
burger.
Look. Is there a world where
So Whataburger is just Carl's. I swear to God.
Is there a world where burgers can just be enjoyed from different places without having to be in a tier list?
I do think people do the whole like, let me choke you out if you don't think In-N-Out is good. What's interesting, the only place you can get both of these, Arizona. So we could ask Alex Rohr if he wins the whole thing.
That
how
would be
he
number
thinks
one
about this.
question.
And then Texas. Texas has both of these in certain cities. And I would assume that the people in those cities, I would say in Arizona they probably eat more In-N-Out, And I would say in Texas they probably eat more water. Definitely.
We'll have
They
to
would
look at the numbers there. I think our decision here is inconclusive.
No, it's okay. Here we go. So doused and die. This is gonna be bad later, but gigantic cinnamon roll. What's cinnamon roll can you get at In-N-Out?
I didn't know I needed to get one there.
I mean, what I'm saying is Whataburger.
They got
Top
a
to
lot to
bottom.
offer. They got a lot to offer, it seems.
I think
When
after
did they come into California?
after 10 years of eating In-N-Out, the zero selection kind of goes from being like, this is pretty cool, to being like, I have to really want that specific thing.
Wasn't that why you go somewhere to eat?
And that's for sheesh.
Look, we got Flesh
Okay.
and Blood coming up. We
We're gonna
had a
have to
bit of
edit
a
that one
long break
down.
because that last Kano game was real short. So
Yes.
obviously we're waiting for the round to end. Otherwise, you would just be watching old games. So hope you found that fun. Blake, thank you for always taking this like a champ. And I think we'll bring Josh up in here
Cool.
so I can take a bit of a break. And have fun. We'll be right back. Seems like, okay, they fixed one thing. Fab 2.0, we get cold foils in the token slot.
Correct.
So drafting for value out the door. Great job there.
Mhm.
But now we have 14 draftable cards in a 16 card pack. And that feels bad. What are your thoughts? What do you think?
You want it to be, what, 15?
I
cards a
missed
pack?
that one extra
With
card.
one extra card?
Yeah.
That was the slot?
Yeah.
I could see it. In a draft set, I could see what you're talking about. You want to have that one extra slot for the rare or for a carnival slot, as James White would call it. That something a little more that can make your deck a little spicier.
Like, I just opened a case between the last couple of rounds because you guys were casting and I was bored and I had a case. And I have, like, hundreds of tokens
Hundreds.
that they're trash. Like, they're just,
Yeah.
like, if you're opening packs,
Mhm.
they're just straight trash. And that feels bad.
That's okay. I understand. Like a waste of
general.
cardboard because
It's
it's
a
gonna
waste
go.
of cardboard.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then in a draft scenario, you have, when you open, let's see, there's 8 people.
Mhm.
There, one extra card is a token, 3 packs. What is that? 24 cards that could be in your deck
Yeah,
that are not.
that's true. Have you ever experienced a draft where you didn't have enough tokens for everybody?
Maybe, but
Maybe. So there might be some reasoning why they did this.
but you could just flip a card backwards and say this is this token. Like
You could just.
it's more of like an understanding of what a card
Okay.
does than like, oh no, my whole game's ruined because I don't have this one token. You
Yeah.
know, it's like,
Okay, that's fair.
and especially if you're at a store, they usually have a bunch of tokens. Like
Okay.
unless it's like the very first time the set's drafted.
Mm.
So, and I guess for like kitchen table, I could see it too, but that to me that doesn't seem like the best reason because I think it affects every level of draft play all the way up to like professional.
And if you're at a kitchen table, you could just print it, or I could use
That's
my
right.
phone,
You
or
just write it down on a piece of paper,
Yeah,
which you
yeah.
could do it. You could do that at your game store. You're just like,
Exactly.
okay, yeah, this is my spider's bite. It does this. Okay, cool. Everyone knows what it does.
Yep.
It's a token. You're legally allowed to have it. There's nothing weird about it. But that's, I don't know. I just thought it's been feeling weird since Uprising.
No, I think I see your reasoning. I get it. It's an extra slot. Like I said, you can use it, you can scribble a little piece of paper. You can tell your opponent this is what this is. They didn't have it. Sorry. That extra slot could have been used for a common or a rare.
It should be a rare. After
Should
opening
be a
some
rare.
one rare packs, That sucks. One rare
pack. Yeah, that is rough. So
Actually, I
take
think we had a no rare pack. I opened a pack that had no rares in it, which I didn't think was possible, but that's what happened. So I don't know. It feels like we've
Okay.
we found ourselves in where we solved one problem and made up a new one.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I don't know. I'm not even the best draft player, but I think I've noticed it. Like there's just a slimmer margin
Yeah.
where you're not going to see as many cards. So if you make a bit of a mistake, draft one too many hate cards,
Yeah.
or pivot, you just get hard punished. It feels like.
I see your reasoning. I think I'll come to your light on this one. I'll say we don't need that extra. We don't need that extra token in there. It's fun. It's flavorful,
Yeah.
but it's wasteful. It's 100% wasteful. And
I mean, I'd be fine with 2 tokens, but put that extra card back in there. It's a 17 card pack,
okay.
which probably has just cascading amounts of problems for packaging.
Probably.
But that's not my problem. I'm just a
No.
guy here.
Just the
selling.
idea guy.
Yeah, I'm
That's
just
what they
here
pay him for.
spitting stupid things out. But yeah, just something I've been thinking about. So
Okay, I think I like. I see
all right,
what you like.
I've convinced you. So we're done. We'll just move on to
The
the
next
next
pondering thing that you've been thinking about all week.
I mean, I think about these things all the time. I stay up late at night, just like, what do I do with the second token slot now?
Restless.
It's just something I like noticed, and it was like, it feels not great, especially when I just threw away 100. Because a case is 96 packs. You're
Yes.
basically throwing away, 192 cards.
Just recycle them, but yeah.
But they have that black core. You can't recycle.
Can't recycle that.
I don't think you're going to recycle. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you can recycle the cards because of the black core inside of them is not actually recyclable, and is actually, I think it's plastic, to be honest.
So just extremely wasteful.
I'm
Then
pretty sure. I'd be happy to be wrong. Let's see. They send token packs with the new draftable sets now. There you go.
there you go. That fixes the issue. Gets the store stocked up.
We
know?
don't need it.
Yeah.
The thing I can see, to play my own devil's advocate here, is that second token keeps the cold foil safe because it's not on the outside.
They're never safe in paper packs. They're never safe in paper packs. I promise. Okay, there you go. Producer says that Magic doesn't come with all the basic lands you need to play. Those are
Little
given from the
game.
store.
I just heard about this game, Magic: The Gathering.
Okay.
They don't give you enough stuff to play the game.
Yeah.
That's
no.
what someone just told me.
Yeah, they need extra support. So take out the extra token slot. We don't need those. Actually, you can take out probably maybe both. Just send this token separate.
I mean, that could be it. But you do need that cold foil slot. So, that's the thing. You need it to be a token slot so that the cold foil is just yours when you draft and not something you have to draft.
Gotcha.
I like that bit. I think that makes sense, and I think it's a good thing. But I think it's just created this weird spot where we're missing a card, and I miss it every day. Next topic. Let's
Next
go,
topic.
Justin. Boom. New player products.
Okay.
Let me ask you. Have you introduced Flesh and Blood to a lot of new players?
Yeah.
Like personally?
Personally, I have talked to new players. I've given them cards.
No. Like, have you been like, yo, person I know from regular life, I'm going to teach you about this game. I'm going to show you this game and play some of it with you. Have you done that?
In regular life?
Yeah.
Not anyone necessarily super close to me because all my close friends play card games and play Flesh and Blood already. But
That's the other problem,
yeah. But sometimes I try to convince my girlfriend. Not always quite there, but I'll get through one time.
Nice.
Yeah. Maybe I'll use the new player products.
Well, okay. So, side note, I was very excited. I got my wife to play the Ira decks when it first came out during the pandemic, and she was like, cool, let's play that again. And she never wants to play like a board game like again right afterwards. So I was like, let's.
Oh, yeah.
And then immediately I was like, okay,
yeah.
and now these starter decks have equipment. She was like, no, this is too complicated. And I was like,
equipment always throws a wrench in things.
I was just
like they stay on the board. You can use them.
They just sit there. You can look at them. No, it was too.
People get confused.
To be fair, she wouldn't have gotten into the deck building, and it had been too much for her wanting to play more casually. But I digress. So I tried to show like a coworker how to play. We do board game nights sometimes. Some people bailed. It was just me and him. I was like, oh, I brought these blitz decks with me.
Yeah.
Starter Monarch blitz decks.
Nice. Easy.
I go into the pitch on how you play this game. It's a complicated game at its base.
Yeah.
You got resources. You got attack value. You got defense value. You have a reaction step. you got a defense, all these things.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, also here's a soul. This is phantasm.
Yep.
This is this. And I was like, I feel like a crazy person, and you don't really. I'm like, well, we'll just play it because you're not gonna really
Yeah,
get
you
it.
try to explain it in depth.
And then he was like, I can kind of see why this is cool, but also this was a lot and kind of weird, and and I was just like,
yeah.
these are a bad starting place for this game.
The blitz decks, especially the sets that are like talented blitz decks,
Yeah.
so Monarch and Tales of Aria, are way more complicated for players to understand.
Which
for
are
sure.
only, and Uprising, because it's.
Uprising is less talented. There's no less talented. It's more, they kind of does it all for you.
That's true, but they're pretty complicated when you got, Ash and Dragons.
Yeah,
and,
you got the token layers. Just makes it a little more complicated. So you'll make up for it in other tokens. So the sets that are talented heroes seem to be definitely more complicated for people to learn on.
Yeah.
But sets like Classic Battles or WTR, where it's just trading, just physical damage, that seems to be the easiest way to intro people because then you don't have to explain another layer of things.
That's true. So, yeah, I think Classic Battles is like a pretty good step in a direction. We haven't seen a follow-up to this. There's no other Classic Battle to be had.
Nope.
And all we have is Rhinar and Dorinthia, who are very particular play styles that not everybody likes. And then on top of that, just whatever that card is they printed for Dorinthia that people are just buying these things.
Oh, the
for.
Singing Steelblade? Yeah,
and
yep.
That was just a mistake. Like, why did you print a so powerful card in this intro beginner package?
This makes it sell. It makes it sell. That's the Yu-Gi-Oh does it. Yu-Gi-Oh prints cards in their starter
Well, why
decks.
didn't they give Rhinar one then? I guess they got that one where you block and you look at the top card. That's pretty good, but still, it feels like if you're trying to get new players into the game, but you're making a new player set that is more attractive to players who already play the game.
Correct. I understand that.
Missed the boat there.
Yeah.
And all right, so we'll stay in the blitz deck realm.
Okay.
I think Outsiders might be a good place to start.
I think so. I think it's very physical damagey.
Yeah, it's got the physical damage. First set in a while, we don't have arcane damage.
Yep.
No weird talent stuff that adds another layer of complexity. And, there's a little bit of keyword nuance you got to figure out, but it doesn't seem too bad. It's like stealth. It just says stealth. It doesn't really do anything. It just interacts with other things.
Correct.
So that seems pretty good. I haven't checked out the blitz decks. Have you checked out the new blitz decks?
They were playing them last night. I didn't get a chance to go into them, but the people I've talked to have said these ones are much better when it comes to competitive viability or synergy with itself.
That's great.
So I've heard good things so far from locals. I haven't cracked any open myself. I'm probably going to be doing that at some point to get the goodies inside. And most of the time I'll buy them and then give them to new players or set up new player learning events like that. And then those are real easy to hand out because it's in a professional little box.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the real selling point is that professional little box. People are like, oh, perfect. I can grab something. I can go ahead and I can play it. So it's really good for, I think, quick grabbing people.
Yeah.
Like quick, like, oh, I'm at the game store. Let me just grab this real quick with my friend. We can do something. All right, cool. Now I have that small intro versus CC decks where that's like buying a whole commander deck and not knowing what commander is. It's a much bigger hurdle.
Yeah.
I think.
I could see that. I mean, I was thinking about this, and I do think Outsiders is a better starting place for those blitz decks. I think even for like limited as an introduction, Outsiders seems like a good spot.
Yep.
I do still wish that we had like an intro starter deck with CC decks.
Yep.
I don't know why. It's like then they have a deck that they can take to armories. Most armories, I think, are classic constructed. So like
all depends on a region. I have found every community is different.
That's
I know
fair.
San Diego, big fan of CC, a lot of CC players, but there also is a small blitz community that's starting to emerge who like playing more blitz events because they can get home faster, it's quicker, they still get to play Flesh and Blood, they still get to use the cards that they bought, So I think you'll see throughout as it's growing a changing landscape of what people's favorite the format is.
Yeah.
But Blitz, I think, is the best intro place at this moment because it's less overwhelming.
That's true. Yeah, and I guess we do have history pack blitz decks coming in, which will be really cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For me, when I started, we got the original starter decks, and it had a young hero, and it was like, if you want to play a shorter game, just flip the hero over and play 20 health with a CC deck. and like
Oh, man,
you
yeah.
still, like the power level is not crazy because it's an intro deck.
Yep.
But it's a shorter game, so you can kind of like learn a little bit faster and iterate on like how you're approaching it, and then you just flip it over. And for me, it worked really well. I was like, okay, cool. Like I can kind of take it at this beginner level, but I'm still seeing the same play that is like the standard format, for better or for worse. Like that classic constructed is it. It's like almost every major tournament is classic constructed.
Yep. The proper one. Yep.
So, to me, it seems like a missed thing to not do that. And then when they do that, they have a full deck. It's easier to go, in my mind, it's easier to go from a CC starter deck to a Blitz one.
Okay.
Because they're just like, hey, take out, the third copy of each one of these cards, you have a Blitz deck.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least in my mind, that seems like a better solution. But I understand that, it's smaller. It's probably cheaper that way.
Yeah.
But I will try it again. But in the past, I even tried teaching a friend classic battles. That was even hard. Just trying to explain all the attack reaction stuff for Dorinthia.
Steps and everything. Yeah.
It was just like, oh, yeah, this isn't easy. I can't just explain it. It's like took us like an hour and a half to explain the game, play one game of like Blitz, and it was like, this is
at that point you could have played like a whole board game, and
Yeah.
then at that, definitely understandable. I think more learning tools would be helpful. I know, and before like Magic products, they have cards or little pamphlets that help explain the process a little more. So it's less of you being the friend rambling on about your favorite game, and more of this person being able to have like something they can actually read and follow, and reference to. So I think we need some more of those things, like some intro tools, and just to help ease people in and they can reference to.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I mean, even just having like the Ira decks more available all the time. Like, let people just order Ira decks. Like,
Yeah.
sell them for
Print
like
those.
$5. Like, I'd buy 10 just so I can have them, give them out to people. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yep.
they're a nice intro. They're basic. I think.
Ira's not OP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ira's
Not
good.
anymore.
Not anymore. I guess, yeah, back in the day, she was a.
Back in the day, she was terrorizing us in Blitz. But yeah, so I don't know. That was just something I've been thinking about. I personally have struggled trying to introduce it to people because even if you know people who like games, it's a weird, huge jump to TCG.
A competitive TCG.
Yeah,
at that, where you're-
exactly.
yeah.
And it is competitive. Honestly, that was going to be like the third topic I had thought about, but I think we've talked enough. But the fact that it is so competitive, so even just going to your armory is tough. I mean, Southern California is special. Everyone here is like on the top 10 list, it seems like. So
It's definitely very intimidating, even being a player who knows what they're doing coming out here to these events sometimes. I know there's a lot of players who sometimes don't show up to AG events because they're like, oh, I don't think I'm ready for that kind of pressure and something. And it's not pressure we put on people from our side or from the another player's side, but the pressure internally that builds when competing. Some people can't necessarily handle that. And that's fine. I've run events for maybe like 5-6 years now, and I've seen many different people come to events, and I've seen people come in straight nervous, who are like just shaking, just nervous to even talk to people. And I see people come to events like they've been here for 20 years, so every person's different. They take their pace in coming in, but it's always great to be more welcome, be friendly, be about the experience and less about necessarily the game, and be and just inviting and welcome,
Yeah.
and have the game just be that medium in which you can laugh through, not necessarily make it the whole existence of hanging out.
yeah, totally. And
Yeah.
for all of that, I do feel that Flesh and Blood has a very inviting community.
Yep.
Whenever we have new players, especially if it's like limited release stuff, like we're playing draft, we're just like, here, I have these cards. You just take all these
Yeah,
cards,
yeah.
and they're just like go home with like a box of cards, basically.
Oh, we've had people be like, "Stop! I can't. I feel so bad. These are probably worth $20-$30.
Tens of dollars.
Like it's nothing to us. Like please take it. Be one of
It
us.
costs
have
more to
some
keep
fun.
it in my home than it does to give you it here. So.
100%. It takes up way more space, man.
But yeah,
much
so
decent space.
I'm hoping to I have dreams of introducing some friends through like Outsiders Limited, but it's a big ask. It's a lot to explain all the things to them
Yeah.
and then have them build a deck. But we'll see. We'll see if I get there. But I don't know. I think some better classic battles and these HP decks. I'm hopeful that they are helpful in providing a better starting point for people to get the basics down and then build from there. Because it's just hard when like you're just diving too deep into it right away.
Correct.
And you're like, I'm managing multiple kinds of resources that are like actual resources and other more conceptual resources, and like it can be a lot.
Yep, it can be a lot. Especially when you're a wizard player and you love managing those things in your head and you're trying to explain to people the rambling of the void and it doesn't quite translate.
I would never introduce a new player to Wizard.
That's like your main class. You're like, don't do it. I've gone off the deep end.
Look, just because I like it doesn't mean you will. I've learned that a lot in my life. So but yeah, we'll see. I'm not totally written off new player products, but I really hope we see some more classic battles. I hope we see more kind of blitz decks and even some starter CC decks as well for people who want to jump into that format, because why not support both main formats?
Why not?
All right, well, that's it for now. We'll take a little short break. So we'll be back with the semifinals. Sorry, that was just a very short round. Kano doing Kano stuff.
People. That's what happens when you don't
bring one AB to a
null rune. You disrespect wizards. They're going to AB check you. There's always going to be one in the bracket. AB checking.
That'll be me at Armory, but not here. You can always be safe from me at the AG Open because I'll be up here.
You have to hold it back up here.
Just, talking mess about other people. All right, so we'll be back in a few.
All right, bye.
All right, we are back. It is time for everyone's favorite segment, Barraging Blake. I'm joined, of course, by Blake Meyer, and we're just gonna throw things at Blake and see what sticks. It's always a fun time. If you don't know Blake, this is just how he reacts to everything. So this isn't a skit. It's just
this is how whenever I woke up and it was raining, whenever I went to bed and it was raining, I was mad at the rain.
This is just how
mad
it
at
goes.
waking
So
up.
let's see. What do we got in store today on Barraging Blake? Oh, Peace of Mind. This is a new card. It says basically, you want to do damage, I pay, you don't do damage. And I also create a ponder token.
Right. I think what's funny about our community is that people who don't play certain heroes are like, Peace of Mind's fine. Like, what does it actually even break? And it's like, you can't Oasis a claw during Blood Rush Bellows, but Peace of Mind's like, you don't have to guess right. You just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it, block 4, who cares? And you'll get another card.
Well, that's why you pay extra, right?
Yeah.
You pay one extra just to say no.
And Dorinthia, I think there's some other people that hate this even more, but Oasis and Peace of Mind just means you hit me with dishonor, basically. I'm never going to ever hit you with the second swing of my sword. And so it's just another instant, good for you guys that you have this, but why is this in the game? That you need more blocking of, because it's a big pain in the ass. You play overpowered, 6 copies in Dorinthia because I want to beat Guardians, and now it's just well, if I have one extra, I'll just block 4, grab a card for next time, and I don't have to think about blocking you anymore.
That's right.
Just happens.
Pitch it, do it, move on. You know what? Take that, Dorinthia. But my boy Reinhardt.
Which is funny because I play the heroes that would get owned by Peace of Mind, which is the opposite of what Peace of Mind means. It's a big pain in the ass.
But Reinhardt and Dorinthia have been running wild and just tearing down all sorts of events. We might as well nerf
a sniff
them.
of single digits on that tier list, they say, hey man, back to the bottom.
Cool it.
This is a welcome to Wraith hero.
You've had your time.
Absolute mess, unless you're Bravo or Katsu. Katsu, come on in. Here's 7 more cards that do whatever you want. Your opponent won't know.
You're literally just named whatever you want now. Yeah.
You're good, brother.
Sounds like a great card.
Peace of Mind, not great. Oh, God.
I don't know what this is about, but I can only speculate, and I'm excited to find out. The LA, as in Los Angeles, personal trainer market. What's that like?
All right, so you move out here from Texas, right? And you're
Step
like,
one.
all right, I'm at least 85 pounds heavier than everyone else I see in entertainment industry. So I got to do something or I'm going to be ostracized even more than I have been in my life. And you go to LA Fitness and you say, you're the one who's the cheapest one. You start paying the trainers. It's Paul. Paul's a homie. And you work out
Shout
with
out to
Paul. Paul's the only good one in the entire LA part. And Paul's like, hey man, I'm the premier trainer now. So it's going to cost double unless you just want to do the other thing. So I was like, well, Paul, I ain't got double, so I'll go to other places. I've had 10 personal trainers since Paul, and like I forgot about them because they're in the blue books that you bring to LA Fitness. And I have gone years without doing personal training. Like we get it, and like Vahe, shout outs to Vahe because he's somewhere within 18 miles of this space right now. He is a personal trainer that was in the Glendale one. And I was like, hey, I'm looking for a personal trainer. I talked to Mary, not shout outs to her. Shout in.
Boo, Mary.
Mary should quit her job and probably change her name and move. She was like, dude, Vahe or Manuel, which one do you want? I don't know if it's Manuel. I didn't pick Manuel, but it's Vahe or someone else. I was like, I'll choose Vahe because you said he's better. And I showed up to personal train with Vahe, and I was like, I'm going to spend a whole hour with him. Do the, hey, man, I'm doing physical therapy. My lower half, I don't really ever need any workout on the lower half. I just want to focus on the upper body, get some strength, get some muscle definition.
There.
He was like, great. Let's get you doing some lunges first. And you're just like, okay, move the ropes. My body, upper body hurt for like 4.5 days.
Yep.
And I was like, damn, I have an appointment with Vahe tomorrow on Friday. I don't know if I can make it. Like, I can barely get out of bed. And I got a call from Mary. Mary was like, guess what?
Vahe's the premier.
Vahe's going to be sick tomorrow. I was like, what?
He's going to be sick.
Can we reschedule your appointment with someone else? And I was like, no, it's fine. I'll just get an appointment with him next Tuesday or something. And she was like, great. Then she called me again from the same number. She's like, it's Mary on Friday. And I was like, what? 2 days in a row? She's like, actually, Vahe was fired today. So would you like to schedule an appointment with the brand new trainer? Meanwhile, this lady told me, choose Vahe. He's going to be perfect for you less than 4 days ago. And it's like, what was this friction? Did Vahe show up drunk?
We need to find out that
I should have
story.
used a placeholder name, Vahe. I mean, we had 45 minutes, so there's not much honor there. But maybe I'm going to get banned from 24. It's not even 24. I said the wrong one. It's LA Fitness.
I mean, let's be honest.
It's not great.
LA Fitness is not great.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. You get what you pay for.
Paul literally trains like only celebrities now and has fought cancer 3 times. Beat it 3 times. I think he's going through a 4th. Paul, you got this.
Also, hook this guy up with a discount. Come on.
Okay. Justin said, okay, we get it, all right?
All right, here it is. Hashtag Blake was
Hell
right.
yeah. So
Here
if
we
you're
are.
paying attention, there was a ban. We hinted on it earlier, back when it was raining. Now that the skies are clear and you can hear every word we're saying, let's actually say this. Belittle is gone.
Goodbye.
Belittle is gone. You will never, ever get through frostbites. You will never, ever, hey, this pitch is for -2, and I'm going to hit you for 3. Like, it's gone. I was right. I've been right about 5 or 6 cards that have been banned. I'm going to continue being right. If you want me to tell you what to expect from every card that comes out, I'm going to constantly be evaluating the right way.
This is the Blake promise right here.
We're never going to ban some of these cards. Like, Steelblade Supremacy, it's going to be in the format forever because it's not as broken as Belittle. It's not as broken as, Ice Amulet, whatever. But Winter's Well. I nailed Awakening. This is just a long line of Blake. No, I said this wrong. Who should I? Blake, help us figure out how to do some evaluation of cards. You know how, like, who's that guy on YouTube that did it for Hearthstone cards? His name is Trump, but you can't say Trump because everyone thinks about the other one. But he would do a video series of, like, 1 to 5 stars of every card that's coming out for this new Hearthstone thing. I think if I did that, I would never be wrong. And I don't think Mask of Many Faces will be banned ever. I think it's a limited card.
There you go. Heard it here first. Mask of Many Faces
Blake was
not
right.
banned.
I
Blake
love
was
that
right.
that got put down because hashtag Blake was right. I'm sure 2 people will retweet that.
And if
I'll
you're sad
bring
about
both.
it, nobody cares.
Yeah.
So next segment, here we go.
I can't wait for this one. Jesus Christ.
It's Timothy Chalamet. He's just a special guy.
I feel like it's one of those things where you're like, you tell people in confidence of things, and it's just there's no confidence anymore.
You can't tell Justin these things.
So
You know what he
bones and
does.
all, okay? This is a movie.
Lay it out.
Honestly, somebody made a tweet of it was in the top 10 grossing films last year. It was a joke tweet. I believed it for some reason. I went to this movie with my friend Alex, and it was insane because like I don't want to see this movie. It's gross. Cannibalism is just not fun.
Illegal.
It's literally against human decency even. And even if it was, if nobody arrested for you, it would be against public opinion. But it was crazy. Timothy Chalamet, Luca Guadagnino, they are from Call Me by Your Name. So they're back together. But this movie, I watched it. I had cookies because it was at the Alamo Draft House in downtown.
Nice.
I made sure
Shout
to
out
get my
Alamo.
cookies right away. Opening scene, she bites some girl's fingers off at a sleepover, and it was like, oh hell no! Like
That's where
I
we
was
started?
like biting into a cookie as she bit someone's finger. So there was some kind of like some sensory whatever it is there. But anyway, I watched this movie, no spoilers ever, except they eat everyone and then none of them survive. And Mark Rylance is an Oscar winner who Bridge of Spies, fantastic. Whatever career happened afterwards, he's not. Who's the guy that was in? Damn, I'm gonna screw it up. He won 2 Oscars for 2. Damn, we are really screwing this up. Django Unchained and the other guy, Christoph Waltz.
Christoph Waltz. Yeah.
He's just a poor man's Christoph Waltz. Mike Rylance is pissed right now. He's like, I actually like this game, and then this guy talks shit. It was like Mark Rylance is a poor man's Christoph Waltz. He in this movie is hunched over in tidy whities, and you see everything, and you're just like, Mark, you do not need this money that bad. Please get a job at a bank. I watched all of this. And then afterwards, I was like, I didn't really get it. Like, obviously, there's an allegory for something because they're just like constantly need food, like meat. I was like, it's an allegory for something, but I'm not getting it.
Capitalism.
And my friend was like, it's the drug addiction of the 80s. And I was like, oh, okay. All of that makes sense. Weird one to go with to make it all, whatchamacallit, just cannibalism. It's so gross, by the way. Like, do not watch this movie unless you're like, I mean, I don't know why you would watch this movie. It's not like anybody's killing it, but
Apparently, it was a top
I did it
grossing
in
movie.
public and ate cookies with friends.
So if
So
you
you
saw
don't have
Blake
to.
at the movies eating cookies and watching this movie, you now understand it was a mistake,
Yeah.
and he does apologize for it. So
I didn't expect bones and all to be like. I said
It
this
was
like
about
3.5
cannibalism.
months ago.
Didn't
There's
you
been
know what it was
2.5
about?
AGEs since then. Like, somebody had this in the chamber for a while. Like, we're scraping something. I don't know. Maybe we need a busted. What are they called? Busted ninja card to mess me
Don't
up
worry,
or
peace of
whatever.
mind will ruin your life a couple times. We'll
Yeah.
talk about that again. So yeah, maybe watch Call Me by Your Name instead of this one.
Dude, call me by your name.
It's a good movie. That's Barraging Blake.
Yeah.
It's
Did we have fun here?
I'm sorry, I didn't choose those things.
Okay.
I'm just here experiencing it with you.
True.
You can blame that guy.
I mean, if one of these is gonna be, if one of these Barraging Blake topics from now on will be like, Blake was right.
Blake was right.
again,
Yeah.
Blake was right some more. Once again, Blake was right. I'm down. Ruin
Well-
my life on I'll tell all the bad movies I watch. There's at least 2. You know what a good movie to watch is? Just so you get this as a go do this. Some of y'all will hate this. I almost said another bad one. Infinity Pool.
Mm.
It's the good version of Bones and All.
Oh yeah. How many people
Yeah.
do they eat? No
Not-
spoilers.
Not 0. That's Barraging Blake.
That was
'cause
Barraging Blake, and you
everyone's
know what,
looking like this in the
Blake,
background.
you were right, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
And that's all for now. We'll be back. Round 6 coming up.
It's yellow. It's blue.
That's blue. That's that I'm going to talk about the blue stuff. Yeah. Talk about the,
Oh, okay. Welcome, one and all, to This Month in Flesh and Blood, our show where we here at AGE bring you all the news that's noteworthy from the world of Wraith. My name is Sam O'Byrne, and I'm joined by my co-anchor, Mitch Uber Leslie. How are you, Mitch?
Yeah,
Let's go ahead and jump right into this month's top stories. This Month in Flesh and Blood. Spoiler season for the upcoming set Outsiders is right around the corner, bringing new support to underrepresented heroes from the pits looking to take control of the meta. If history has shown us anything, we can expect a dynamic, exciting metagame where heroes from Aria continue to dominate.
This month in Flesh and Blood, a plane carrying Flesh and Blood developer and resident cool uncle Brian Gottlieb departed New Zealand only to return to the same airport 18 hours later. Sources say that a fire at John F. Kennedy Airport in New York City was the reason for the turnaround, but eyewitness reports on the aircraft tell a different story.
This month in Flesh and Blood, Fabtcg Oldhim dominated the top tables of the Calling Indianapolis, as the top 8 of the event featured 5 decks centered around the Icy Old Man. Unfortunately, reports from the ground all seem to indicate that the opponents did not enjoy those games whatsoever, proving once and for all that it's not about how long you last, but how you play the game.
This month in Flesh and Blood, Ethan Mansant Van Sant reported that his lost FedEx bag from PT2 Lil has finally been recovered. In it, of course, his streaming equipment, his treasured Levia deck, and the exclusive Eye of Ophidia playmat. Unfortunately, there was one all-important item that was not able to be found: a stable internet connection.
This month in Flesh and Blood, Michael Hamilton continued his mighty rule over our card game with another decisive win at the Calling Indianapolis. While some have pointed to his value-based strategizing as the key to his success, others have attributed it to his wardrobe consistency, as the world champion is pictured here in 3 actual photographs from entirely different events. Sources say, however, that Hamilton is planning to switch up his look for the next Flesh and Blood event, just announced in my childhood mall, The Calling Hot Topic.
This month in Flesh and Blood, Canadian national champion Tariq Patel put an all-call out on Twitter challenging any Dromai player worth their rakes to come and step into the ring against his Oldhim build, being confident enough in the Guardians' chances to put money on the line. Unfortunately for the expat American, challenger Darkodius managed to resolve 2 early tonal ties and Dromai took the match. Instead of playing a best-of-3 like Tariq had anticipated, Darkodius said he was going to take his bragging rights and run with it. He was rumoured to have said, and I quote, "I'm going to knick-knack, bric-a-brac and get the out of here."
This month in Flesh and Blood, Sam O'Byrne from plucky upstart YouTube channel 3 Floating was selected to join Ethan Mansant Van Sant and Ethnic Smoke in the booth at the Calling. While his esteemed co-stars Blake Meyer and Colin Honigman wished him well on his journey, they also told him in no uncertain terms to watch his back. I didn't write that one.
Me neither. This month in Flesh and Blood, Battle Hardened Bologna took place recently, with Bravo's showstopper stopping the show and taking down the tournament. This came as a surprise to the Americans, who only saw a single Bravo convert to day 2 at the Calling Indianapolis, despite 42 registrations on day 1. We knew Americans loved to play Bravo. What we didn't know is that they were bad at the deck.
This month in Flesh and Blood, award-winning Overwatch shoutcaster and devoted Dorinthia player Mitch Uber Leslie joined the AGE Open casting team for this February event, providing high-level analysis and a gosh darn charm and smile. His highly anticipated spoiler card for Outsiders is confirmed to be one of the legendaries for the set, which sources say is LSS's way of saying we're sorry for printing peace of mind. To quote James White, Dorinthia didn't want those Dawnblade counters anyway.
This month in Flesh and Blood, Chris Ciali, hometown hero, had all of Southern California and, bizarrely, Carlisle, Pennsylvania, cheering for him as he took his talents to a runner-up finish at the World Championships in San Jose. He returned to the national stage last month at the AGE Open and took Lexi Livewire to a similar second-place finish, going to show that nice guys don't finish last, they finished second.
This has been This Month in Flesh and Blood. For Mitch Uber Leslie, I'm Sam O'Byrne, and we'll see you next month.
We're back, everybody, with I think everyone's new and most favorite segment that we call Barraging Blake.
Uh-oh.
In this segment, we will get Blake Meyer in the hot seat to give his hot takes about whatever we feel like throwing at him.
We said no Reinhardt, no Levia, no problem. We're going to get brute cards in there one way or another. Just jam somebody's face on it and make it a segment.
And the question always after every game is, so did we have fun?
Because I think a lot of people that are in the lower brackets today were like, oh, well, I played my hard matchup. They got the nuts, and I was done in 3 rounds. Are we having fun? No. Let's get some nerfs. Let's get some buff. I guess you can't buff cards in in cards.
Yeah.
Maybe on the
Just send
Marvel
everybody
Snap
a card to replace the one they have.
Yeah. So this is Barraging Blake. What's going to happen here is the guy in the booth with us, Justin, he's going to do his dead level best to ruin my day. So let's see.
Let's see what happens. First up, we've got, a classic pair. It's like a fine meal, and then, the matching drink you paid extra for. It's Belittle and Minnowism.
Right. I haven't seen these cards before. Let me read them real quick. Oh, wait. It's every single deck ever that it doesn't make sense to put it in. Has to put it in. This is back whenever I was playing Icelander before Wounded Bull got there. We're not talking about Wounded Bull, but Belittle Minnowism is so annoying because it's a thought process of, I'm an aggro deck. I'm tired of getting Frostbite. What can I do? What can I do? Oh, I can play 3 red Belittles and 3 yellow Belittles and just go get a Minnowism at any time. Go get a blue card. I get an extra card in my hand. It replaces itself. I'm pitching one. It's actually like Belittle says -2 for 3 is kind of how the math works. I swing an Ember Blade without trying.
It's basically the pyramid scheme of Flesh and Blood.
And what's BS about it is everyone says, well, and
Listen.
whenever you try to have an intelligent conversation with a Ninja player,
Listen.
I don't recommend it. They will say, well, Blake, you have to have Belittle Minnowism or you auto-lose to Icelander.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't play 4 decks that auto-lose to all the other people. And it's like auto-losses are a thing in Flesh and Blood. Gym ID has to be on your side to get to a top table, or you play some like you play Starvo, you play some Living Legend deck. Like, I was playing Icelander into a, Prism meta. That was an auto loss. I literally, anytime I played a Prism, I was like, you win. I'm not even allowed to do that.
He would just leave
I'm
and go
admitting
get
this
food.
now. I would leave to go get food.
Come
I
back.
don't want to play Prism as Icelander because it's a non-contest. And so to say, oh, well, ninjas need Belittle Minnowism or it's a non-contest, duh, I want that to happen.
But Blake, they both block for 2.
They both block for 2. You're never going to use them to block. There's no point in bringing out the block value of a card if you're always going to play it to attack. That is it. Yes, sometimes doesn't matter. You're never going to block with Plunder Run. Who cares about the block value on that card? You're going to jam it in Arsenal. You're going to flip it over. It's going to do some. Same thing with Belittle Minnowism. It's just time to attack, and not care. Grab a blue. I'm going to keep going. Boom, 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 boom. It replaces itself 3 times.
So on a scale from like 1 to Starvo, where do you put Belittle and Minnowism?
I would say this is aggravating, and I have wanted to ban this card for about 3 months. So I would put this as in a not a Blood Rush Bellow, but a angry clearing Bellow.
Nice.
If we're sticking to our brute thing.
So just ban it. Just get rid of it.
Just ban it. I think it's interesting, too, because it made it into Viscerai, which you're just like, bro, you do so much cool stuff. Why are you trying to do this?
That was a hoax. I think that was a hoax that some people perpetrated that it didn't need to be. It was just...
I'm glad it never
Why?
made it into Dash. That's a thing where, like, at least the deck builders weren't doing that.
I
But
did try to put it in my Dromai Talishar
Hell yeah.
Transmogrify deck, but that was just bad choices all around. So
Oh my goodness, what's happening here?
Look at that.
We've got somebody who, what happened today? 10th place?
10th place. I got Reinhard. Everybide saw me get Dromide.
Yeah,
I
that
was on the wrong 90
crazy.
of the 90-90.
And, yeah, I don't get the 90-90. I'll try to get you guys to explain that when
Oh,
we
I
have a
can-
downtime.
I can happily explain.
We have 2 heavy hitters, though. We got somebody you guys know from way back when, with Tyler Horspool taking down that calling in Vegas.
He was also who I picked to win this tournament.
That's why we have you in the booth.
Yeah.
We're like, he's going to do the winner pick and barely miss top 8, and then we'll get him in here.
Yeah.
Alan Chavarin is somebody where we know him forever, but everybody else knows him as, is it really a Levia player at 3-0 right now?
He is the Levia master.
And you haven't played against him. And we got to redo the health thing. I guess that's those guys, though.
He actually just hit himself with Beast Within. Now he's already.
He did 27 of his blues. How did tournament go today? I guess we should address that real quick. Did you have fun?
It was a lot of fun. It's always fun. These AG events are the best. Obviously, it didn't make top 8, so
That's 2 times in Collector Legion, 2 times shorts.
I know this place. I'm blaming the store. It's definitely not
Yeah.
my play.
Adam did the voodoo magic on top of everything.
Yeah. No, it was good. I played 6 different heroes in 6 rounds. So
That's like the first time I've ever heard of that.
yeah, so that's definitely. I didn't find Alexi until round 6.
What are we doing with Lexi? Are we beating her? We're crushing her, or is she gonna be the big deck and format that just like crushes everybody?
She's pretty good. You better have a plan for her, because she can just kind of keep the ball rolling. The ponders, the ability to keep her arsenal, rolling across turns is makes
way
it-
better. It's like you have 5 cards every turn instead
Yeah.
of 4.
Yeah, if you take tempo, you better keep it. Obviously, playing Guardian, that's not the easiest thing to do. So,
Right.
in some ways it's not the same, but kind of like the old chain decks where it's hard to ever find your time to pivot, and if you take a bunch of damage to pivot, then you don't keep it, you just took a bunch of damage
get
and you
blown
still die.
out.
So
Or if they play Trench, like how many Lexis are playing Trench these days? Half and half, or none of them?
I haven't seen any.
Because that's what Evan does. So I'm used to Evan. Like anytime I play Command and Conquer to try and get tempo on him, he just goes, "Put this card on the bottom of my deck. You can have one of my cards, but I'll save that for later."
So I went in. I played against 4 at the Pro Tour and then 1 today, and they're all on Tunic. I believe that's the most common setup.
Any insights from Pro Tour you want to tell everybody about? It sucked, or it was amazing.
It was awesome. It was. I mean, I think everybody's saying it. The word on the street is it was the best event, and I think I agree with that. It was. It ran smooth. It ran quickly. The ability to watch the feature match
That was really cool.
from above was really cool.
From home.
You got to wear your wristband so you could say like, "Hey, we're cool. We can be over here. You guys can't come over here." No, I'm
They
just
didn't.
kidding.
They
But
didn't allow Pro
yeah, it was kinda
Tour
funny.
non-players over there.
They even had the TV set up so you could watch.
That's crazy.
Spectate from a chair outside. So all in all, it was really good. Looks like they're going here.
Yeah, we're gonna start off with an Arsenal pass to hope for better cards next time from Alan, and then we're just gonna get right into ruining people's lives with all these Briar cards. Because that's gonna be a buff 3 plus a buff 6. Just an easy
Yeah. What?
13 damage coax, or am I lying?
It's
3 plus 5.
No, I think it's blue. So I think he's at 10 in an arcane, with 1 floating and go again.
How was your Hawaiian barbecue for lunch?
It was good. It was good. It was needed. I was hungry.
Yeah. It's crazy because it's humid in here. Not this room.
Yeah.
This whole area we are using some heat from our bodies to generate, and there's some sweat going on, so it's humid in Collector Legion. So I don't know if that'll affect our players.
Not Tyler. He's focused. Alan, I think, could play in a jungle. I mean, his deck looks like he came from the jungle.
Oh yeah. Is there something where Tyler's like, "Oh, I want one of these," or has that been said at all?
Oh,
Like, why do I keep losing these AGE?
oh no, he wants one. He wants he wants to make the invitational. So he's got the eye of the tiger right now.
I mean, he's gonna need some help because
Yeah.
if we look at this leaderboard, I don't see his name on there. I think that's something that I've maybe I'm one of his harshest critics of like, because he does all of his best work when I'm not around.
He does.
So I'm like, I haven't seen the crazy killer instincts.
Yeah, no, when he goes to these big events, I'm pretty sure he's always the last one of our group to lose the first round. I think he was on stream at 3-0 against Charles Dunn at the Pro Tour. He might have gone 4-0 in the first day of CC at the Pro Tour on Briar. Yeah, when he's on, he's on.
I kind of love that he said, let's both gain a health just for the mental damage of going above 40.
So that's kind of the strat they use, is always gain the life.
Because you can go over your opponent way quicker than they can go over you. I don't think Alan's realized it's 41 though.
He needs his green crayon. I forgot his green crayon.
What do you think the idea behind the crowns is? Is it we really do not have a pin in his household, or is it I'm messing with my opponent any way possible?
I don't even know if he's trying to mess with his opponent, to be quite honest. I think that's just him. He just kind of has this kind of quiet humor about him, and if you'll watch him, he plays at about 1,000,000 miles an hour, and he never stops moving. I think he just... Yeah. No.
Oh, I like that. The guy in the sky said, "Walking art piece from Colin."
Yeah.
Is the vibe here? Oh, walking modern art piece.
No, he's definitely walking modern art. No. He's his own installation.
I love that. Scar for Scar is not a Levia card in any ones that I've seen before, but here it comes down.
So I don't have the fortune. I didn't watch any of the stream from Baltimore yet, so I actually haven't seen Alan play this deck. I'm usually playing alongside of him.
So the best moment of that stream was him playing the Lexi player, and the Lexi player sees the titanium bauble hit the pitch zone and goes, "That's not a legal card." And they're like, "Sir, this is the what is it? This is a Target or whatever.
Yeah,
this is a Wendy's."
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you're allowed to play titanium bauble. Yeah. Everything's allowed here.
The first time I saw that actually was the Auckland calling. I don't know who it was, but one of the New Zealand players had signed titanium baubles in their dash deck. That was
signed by which one? By Titanium himself? Or?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who signs those, but it was pretty cool.
I think Briar should have Living Legend by now if everybody plays him as good as Tyler does.
Definitely. No, Tyler is very good at Briar. He's good at adapting to your game plan as well. He can play the long game. He can play the short game.
So you kind of stick on Oldham. And one thing that's in my head is Tyler's playing all different kinds of decks. Chris is playing all different kinds of decks. They, as a group, said, let's play Kano in a whole high-stakes tournament. Is there something where... Are you excited to see these players like just pick one and stick with one, or are you kind of like as the person who's like I'm always going to be playing Oldham and you guys are getting worse instead of better? Like I kind of like that you guys keep switching instead of figuring out all the individual stuff. I'm not a pro player enough to know like there is some merit to playing 7 different decks in 5 tournaments.
No, there is. I actually think that playing all these different decks make you a better player. I think. I think I would be a better player if I could play Oldham as much as I did and also play these other decks because you get to see what it's like to be on the other side. You understand their lines better, and you just get a deeper understanding of the game. I think, playing as a Guardian where, you're able to block well versus a deck that can't block well, you're playing a very kind of different game of Flesh and Blood. The math's kind of inverted, and being able to go both ways with it, I think is a good skill to have. So, I don't know if you saw Chris Ielli's tweet, that just said,
play your heart out.
Play whatever, and also like, look, I played all these stupid decks in these last ProQuest season. These guys refused to play the same
That's kind of what I'm
hero
talking about.
from
They
the
did so
same
many.
twice or set twice. So they were forced to play the worst heroes at some point.
I know none of them still, through all that, touched Rhinar, and I was very pissed about that.
Yeah.
Like, well, we're not crazy. We're just going to
Yeah.
play 7 heroes in 7 tries here.
I think
The
they
one
no, because I think they wanted.
sucks. I think that was a double one when I wasn't paying attention.
I think they needed. I think they needed to use Levia for their brute.
Oh my god. I don't. Did Tyler ever play Levia? I think that's what happened, right? There was a double one. Yeah. Oh my god. We look away for 1 second to eat some spam musubi from next door, you know. I kind of like this vibe we got going on, Craig. Like
It's pretty good. We
late
can do
night radio with Delilah. Did you ever listen to Delilah growing up? You know what I'm talking about?
this. I only know Hey There, Delilah.
Delilah, love song, and it was like you ask her like,
Oh, is this like love songs on the coast?
yes. And
All right.
that
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm familiar.
We're doing the low talk
Yeah.
and like Snapdragon after this snatch is not what Alan wants to see, but it's only once per game. Straight into swarming. I think it's interesting if Briar either feels like super strong or like, oh, I can deal with that. Who cares? There's like no in between.
Yeah.
And Alan plays with his health like it's candy. Because we're already at 16. I think it's only been
Yeah.
8 minutes probably.
So, do you know Levia's game plan into Briar here?
Well, that's what I would do if I was a good commentator. I do think it's kind of like pick your battles. There's a lot of cards that Alan's going to be drawing that maybe don't have the block value. I personally would take out the swing with Big Tree.
Yeah.
But he
He's-
put it in there.
Yeah. He's taking a stand right here. So so from my perspective, if all he does is swing back with vanilla damage,
Game over.
that's not great. Oh, he's going for everything.
If he gets 3 ones in a row.
Oh,
Oh my god.
poor
This
guy.
is the exact opposite reaction. Tyler says, "Yeah, I'll take a freebie if you'll give it to
Wow.
me." That sucks. Okay,
That's-
so
yeah,
I don't
no,
know what to
don't like
say because I Alan's amazing and everything, but like, what do we do if you're just gonna punt?
So that's 1 in 216.
Apparently it's 1 and 1 for
Yeah,
us today in Bruteland.
Yeah.
Like, you can't literally do that, and we just proved that on stream that you can do that. And like, what's cool is if he hits all 3 6s, he doesn't have enough to pay it off. So it's like, I wish there was a card where you can like you roll a die and you can keep it on that card for the whole game.
This is
So you need
this
it.
is Tyler's calling champion buff he has.
Is that a real thing?
I don't know. I mean, this guy just rolled 3 ones in a row.
Sheesh. If Alan has a trillion fans, I'm one of them. If Alan has no fans, I'm no longer.
I think
one.
Adam F just did the math for rolling triple ones in
Yes.
the chat.
What's interesting is you play a hero that has no real like. You don't leave anything to chance.
I try to as little as possible. I started on Rhinar. I played Rhinar and Blitz when I first started.
And now I
playing
have
Flesh
all
and
your old. I have all your old trophies at my house now.
Blood. Yeah, and
Your cool mandible claws, your
Yeah.
romping club. I got it all at my house.
it was fun, and I thought, oh, you can harness the randomness, right? You can minimize it, which you can. But when you lose to that, I don't have the emotional fortitude. Like Alan cheered because he's having a good
He's
time.
going for 4 ones right now.
Yeah. He,
Oh, boo!
he can't even get 2 action points.
I think what's interesting is what would you do with 2 action points? You're gonna.
Oh, I think he's doing it just for the lulz now. Oh no, he could have done mandible claw, cracked his heart and cross strap, and then swung with big tree.
I think one thing that's hilarious about this game too is like one player can get so far ahead where it's like, Tyler, why don't you just let the whole thing hit, bro? Like, why are you being so
Yeah.
mean?
I'm slightly disappointed that the first time I got to commentate, it's the game where Alan hasn't played a hand the whole game.
Well, he did do 4 damage to Tyler total, so. I don't think this is that bad of a matchup for a Reinhardt player, though. Or what am I saying? A Brute player.
Yeah.
I think it is just, this could not be going worse for Alan.
Yeah.
Not because he did anything wrong. It's because he believed in the heart of the cards. And that only gets you to top 8, apparently. Yeah. What do you think about the card underneath the hero power to show that it's my arsenal card?
Not a fan.
Yeah, I hate it too. Thank God someone said it.
Not a fan.
It only works on stream games too, where there's not zones printed out.
You know, it's probably some extra like conscientious way to make sure you don't ever show that you're going to mix your hand in your arsenal. Occasionally, I've seen this happen. I actually saw.
Oh my God!
Oh wow, he just sigiled him.
Jeez Louise, there is no. For everybody that actually wanted some commentary on this game, there's no AB on the sideboard, so anytime Sigil of Suffering comes down, it just does 1 to Alan and blocks another one.
I wonder if we could. There's probably time to pick up another game and move them over. They're probably on like turn 2. Although it's all like Katsu mirrors, so they're probably all almost done. Okay, all right.
This could be like the quickest top 8 of all time. Let's go ahead and get some live reactions. Okay, I can't really see his face. Water bottle. I feel like Tyler, like, not that this is a layup. I don't want to ever say this and make people feel bad about choices they made in a game. But here you go. Like, not a hard top 8 match.
Yeah.
Beat somebody at top 4, and then play really good, and then you win the whole thing.
So he believes he's well positioned into this top 8 breakdown. He's feeling pretty good right now.
What, do we have a top 8 breakdown? Oh, crap. We do.
Yeah.
I thought that was the old one. I was like, I saw Peter Loderup's name, and I was like, oh, that dude's from two months ago. And then I was like, oh, it is him. There is a Katsu mirror, and then there's also a Lexi mirror.
So we gotta not. We love Travis, but we got to be rooting for Connor here. So we get another brute going down.
So we can have somebody else.
Even though
he's
the one that knocked me out of the top 8.
What's crazy is Connor should not have, like, by the way Connor's drawing his Blood Rush, he's not going to beat Travis in top 8. It was like against, he was playing Alejandro, and he didn't draw a Blood Rush on the first 30
Oh, he
cards.
did the opposite, and he rolled the opposite of Alan versus me. It was a lot of 6s and 4s.
Okay, let's get these good vibes going. Okay, so Pro Tour.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat some, what is this called? Noodle salad.
All right.
And you're going to say, who did you play at Pro Tour that you're like, I'm going to remember this for the rest of my life. This game has taken me all over the world to the inner harbor of Baltimore, and I have played people from all around the world, and oh my God, I'm going to remember this forever.
So actually, this whole Pro Tour lineup was really pretty amazing. I had a tough bracket, I think. So round 1 was Majin Bey. Great player, great guy.
I think he shouted you out on his. Like,
I heard he did. I haven't
something?
had a chance to listen to it yet, but he had a moment. He tried to get very tricky versus me and forgot there was an active Endless Winter, and he popped his snaps and got a frostbite, and unfortunately the blood left his face when I was like, oh no, I can't do my turn.
More like Majin Boo Boo, you know?
Yeah. So you know, he said it would have been. I mean, it was still a close game. I think it would have been really close had that not happened. So, you know, round 1, you know, we actually joked about it in the thing. It's like you really don't want to play somebody who you know their name, because you're hoping that, you know, it's.
You're hoping Blake Meyer somehow bought a PTI.
Right.
And then you're playing up against them right away or whatever.
Yeah. I played against two Oldhams who It was Fabtcg, I think is how you pronounce it.
I remember that guy from the finals of.
Yeah, he won just before, and Ryan Rich, they're both, Oldham specialists. So they were on the Anathos tech. I had unfortunately been a little out of the loop for the month leading up to the Pro Tour. A lot of work, so I had missed this. I hadn't practiced enough and kind of missed that interaction. And
Because what is Anathos doing for you?
it kind of wins the mirror is what it does for you. So it allows you to present 4, and depending on how they block, you can choose whether you want to go to 6 or you want to arsenal. So with Sledge, you have to always pitch 2 cards
6,
unless it's
yeah.
your tunic turn. But with that, you can just, depending on how they block what you got, you're like, oh, you know what? I'll just arsenal. They block 6, I'm going to arsenal. They block 4, I'll go to or block 3, I'll go to 6. So the incremental value is really high.
Yeah, the way you're explaining this, not that you're saying it's a bad job. I'm like, oh, like you can play something at instant speed, and now
Yeah.
there's another card in your arsenal to bump it to 6 or something.
Yeah, so basically you always get the choice to make the correct decision. Because you get the...
Can you leave some variance for the rest of us?
I know. So those were my 2 CC losses.
Fabtcg and the other dude, the
Yeah.
other Oldham.
Yeah.
And it was Anathos that did that, or there was some other stuff?
I mean, they were played great, and so I want to say it's just Anathos, but it definitely was like, oh no, I'm on the wrong end of this.
Draft is terrifying in this building, or was it like, it was still fun, even though it was like, pass your card now or die?
You've probably heard about this. The drafts were interesting because they didn't use the standard packs because they didn't want people to be able to count, because there was a difference between Belgium and Japanese printing, and pro players make sure they know those things. So
And it's like, why would you not want your pro players to have the most information available? Like that, I feel like that's the opposite.
yeah,
Like, we're not trying to do it for the little guys here. It's like, let the people who are spending money and wearing jerseys assert their dominance.
the way I understood it is they didn't want you to be winning because you knew how to count the collation of the packs rather than focus on like drafting the signals and
Right.
I don't know.
Or
So,
forcing 5 from step 1 or whatever.
yeah,
Look at all
so
these 5 cards and outsiders.
but it made for what appeared to be pods that you couldn't get out of a standard box, right? Because they weren't all the packs and all the cards weren't from one box.
So we're trying so hard to not have it be
yeah.
an environment that we all know, that now it's a
It's a-
chaotic
It
environment.
was more chaotic than you would expect. I think I was on the positive end of this on the first draft. I was the only Azalea at my table, and I got like 5 red infecting shot.
I mean, that's amazing. And
So-
like, anytime you get toxicity, you're like a champion too.
Yeah, I had 3 toxicity. I had 5 that I had a pretty amazing deck. I had a heartbreaker against Tarek in the 7th round, so we were both X and 1, and I had him on the ropes, and I drew 4 non-attacks. The last 4 non-attacks in my deck, and then he was Benji, and he got me with the unblockable.
I mean, is that something where it's like you should pitch stack like Tao Tao, or what's going on?
We were still in cycle 1, so he had been blocking with 4
Sucks.
cards for a few turns, and playing great, right? Like he does, at knowing that he needed me to miss, and I missed, and that was that.
I think one thing that I'm interested about the Baltimore thought process, because I guess that's your 2 middle parts, and then you got high stakes CC afterwards.
Yeah,
And is that something where you're like, okay, thank God, let me shred this whole draft persona, and I just get to play my heart out with my favorite hero, and just like leave it
Yeah.
all out here? Or is it like, because at that point it's like you're probably not gonna make top 8, but now you're playing for $1,000, $1,500, like
Yeah.
incremental up there.
So I was still live going into the last CC. So I was X and 3. I think I was live. I know a few X and 3 didn't make it, but I lost like 2, 7, and 9. So I think it was late enough that had I won out, I would have made it. So I'm still in like pretty high intensity mode. and then I ran into the second Oldham round. What is it? The second round of CC and lost that. And once you're out, it is kind of, I don't want to say it's nice because you want to win,
Right.
but it's definitely like it takes it down a notch.
I mean, 4 + 6 is 10 rounds already. So
Yeah.
your 12th round is the one that takes you out, and I think that is probably like, okay, like we're
Yeah.
not playing for 50 grand anymore. We're playing for.
You're playing for a PTI
Right.
at that point. And like your top 32 is really, once you're out of top 8, your goal is to get that PTI. Somebody's saying get the go again.
Yes, like your PTI replaces itself.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Go
So-
again to another. Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Right?
That
It's
that
cool.
does
They
work.
should call them go agains.
So 22 is where you ended up.
Yep.
What does that feel like? That's winning your last round.
Yeah. So I lost 12 and then I won 13 and 14.
Gotcha.
So I played 4 Lexi.
So if you had won 12, you can jump up 10 spots,
So
and then tiebreakers would take you from 12 to maybe 9 or 8 or something. Is that how that works? I don't know how large tournaments like this work. I don't know if that's
as far as
something
your
everyone knows.
placing, so like if I lost 13 or 14 instead.
I'm just wondering if it's like, oh, you divide 22 by 2 because you would have won one more, and that's like you could have made
No.
to at least 12 or maybe a little bit higher. I don't know how.
No, so losing 4. Again, it's just like these smaller tournaments. The later you lose, the higher you end up in your respective point bracket.
X something. Yeah.
You know, so losing the last round, like Zane from San Diego, who he got 17th. He was live to the last
Heartbreaker,
round.
yeah.
He lost his winning in, and ended up 17th actually. So like, you can drop kind
That's
of
a lot.
far.
That's a big
Yeah.
jump from like, oh, it could have been 8,
Yeah.
so now it's 17.
Yeah. So it really, again, for everybody watching, you want to lose as late in the tournament as possible. And if there's going to be like wherever the cutoff is that make top 8, it's usually you have to lose the last round to be one of the like people that barely make it in. If you lose second to last round, you're pretty much
The worst. Yeah.
you're out.
So, did you have fun? You're gonna do this some more, or oh my God, thank God I got this out of my system. I'm gonna crush you guys locally, but I'm not gonna go to nationals, or no, like you'll be wherever the hell it is in Europe. You'll be there for Worlds, or what's the thought process here?
I go back and forth on this all the time. I mean, it's like maybe I'm not going to travel, and then you do really well at this thing, and you're like, okay, maybe.
There's only 21 people better than you in the entire world,
Hey,
and they could all eat lobster
Yeah.
on the wrong day,
exactly.
and then you're
And
there.
then you win the thing, right?
Or they show up with Prism,
yeah.
and it's bad in the Oldham somehow.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun, right? The travel, you see, the great part about the Flesh and Blood community still being kind of, it's growing a lot. It's kind of still relatively small, and the people who are going, they love it. So they are going to everything. So you
Right.
get to see a lot of people, you know, all over the world doing it, and it's really cool to travel around and do it. Definitely, you know, anybody that can,
Should.
I think they should.
Okay, maybe I'll
Whether you do, even if you're going to just go and do, you're going to grind tickets for side events, people have a blast doing that. So whether you're like casual, battle hardened, calling, pro tour, every level, the events are really great.
Have you signed somebody's cold foil Titan's Fist yet?
No, I did sign a,
You gotta get in there.
what's the yellow 3 block from Uprising that you get to redraw if you,
Strategic planning, or that's all you got?
that's all you got, yeah. I
Mm.
did sign somebody's that. They were making fun of me because I played Yellow Sink Below in an event once.
Oh, I remember.
And
I was there for that.
And
Yeah.
so I got a lot of
Into
crap.
your whatchamacallit deck,
And
your Starvo deck, right?
Yeah, I got a lot of crap for that. So they had me sign there.
How did
That's
they
all you
know
got.
about that?
They were one of the 8 people watching the stream. So that was exciting. I will say something though, which it's been very cool. From these AGE events, you know, it's been recognized a lot at these, and it's probably, you know, thanks to Justin and yourself and and everybody putting on a great production. It's pretty cool going like, wait, I know, wait, hey, you're that guy from AGE. It's like, yeah.
Is that something where you're like, I'm glad that's happening, or, damn, this guy probably knows how many buckles I have in my deck. This is a disaster. I was gonna surprise this person.
It's well, I get maybe less surprised, but it's pretty cool.
But then you have the like
Yeah.
you're intimidating already.
Yeah,
or whatever.
then you get that extra few percentage points for being like, oh, maybe they're scared of you.
Was there any like raw emotion at the Pro Tour of like people just being like, man, I'm not saying was there any cursing or something, but it was just like, was there anybody throwing their cards down when they went out? Like, that's kind of what like I would want to be like, not man on the reporter, like, tell me how you really feel because you just threw your deck box in the ocean. But it's like, was there anybody just being like, I hate this game because I lost a very important game and I'm over this stuff?
I've seen that at other events. I didn't see anything out of control here, unfortunately. I will let them know. I will let you know next time. I'll try to get out my phone and make sure, so you can maybe try to recreate it or something here.
I think that's something that's hilarious to me about like I didn't go anywhere close to Baltimore, not on purpose. It was just not. There was no PT and there was no I for me there either. And it was like I have heard so much about the community, and it just feels like everybody's like, everyone is so nice.
They are.
They're lit, and it feels like people are talking about human emotion for like the first time in their life. Like people are happy, and they're telling you, "Great job," even if you lose, even if you beat them. They're like, and it's like, I'm looking for. I don't know why I'm such a hater. Where I'm like, that sucks.
Yeah, totally. I would say 10 to 20% at most of the opponents are like at worst just all business, right? Like even after the game, it's like play, pack up, and leave. That's really as bad as you get as somebody who's just all business. But most people are, pretty friendly. Even when you're competing at that level, willing to just,
Because where are these Telesharp people? They're just not getting PTIs, I guess.
So I have my own opinions about this. I often feel like there's like an inverse relationship between your skill level and how salty you get.
Say that.
So maybe the reason you get so salty, Blake, is
I'm trash.
You got to up your game, bro.
Oh my god. Well, what sucks is when I try out my game, then I'm sweating even more, and then if I still lose after practicing, then it's very frustrating.
No, it's you gotta work on that tilt. That's a huge skill actually for these events. Speaking of things you need, like forget playing the game. 14 rounds, 16 rounds.
7 in a row, like you get F.
And you can't lose focus, and you can't worry that you lost the last round when you play the next round.
I feel like I'm going to ask a super dumb question at these big tournaments because it's probably how gym works too, and this has probably been explained. Let me do this. Do people that lose play people that win, or do people that lose play other people that lose?
It's literally the same as these. So you're playing, round one. It's everybody's even, and then all the winners play winners and losers play losers. So like the draft pods at the end of the day, like all the 4-0s were in the same pod, and then they filled it out with X1s, and then it's an X1 pod, and then it's the X2 pods, and it
feels kind of bad. This could be the person who was like, I went 4-0, and now I'm 4-3. Like,
yeah,
I guess that happened to Alan, and he was like, I'm out of here. Even.
Yeah, a decent amount of people.
I mean, it's gonna happen to
one out of eight 4-0s.
Other 1 out of 8 O's and 3s.
Yeah, or 0-3s. Yeah. And then the flip, though, is also you can make up huge grounds. You go 2-2 in CC, and then you 3-0 your draft. You're in decent shape.
I think the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is if you could become an LSS employee, what would you be your first order of business? Is there any thought process of the casual format and like what that could mean for, this game is going to be 18 years old one day. Yeah. And we're going to be talking about, you used to play casual, or what is it, classic constructed? Yeah. Nobody does that anymore.
Yeah. So I think CC is gonna hopefully still be the gold standard. I mean, that's I think what
Blitz
makes
is the one that falls away.
no. What I think is the problem is there's no, not no, but like we'll take, you just said I try to minimize variance. We'll take Oldham for example. If you are a new player playing against an experienced Oldham,
Good
you
luck.
probably win close to 0% of the time, and that's just not a fun experience. So there's that. That's one side. So it's like, using like Magic as an example, like whatever the equivalent of Commander is. I know there's UPF. I've seen people have a blast
we
playing
haven't
it.
played
I still
UPF
don't
yet.
know if it's like a format. But like something where if you just wanted to like drink beer and sling cards and you don't care that much about winning or losing, you just want fun interactions. What Flesh and Blood is right now isn't really that game,
Not even close. No.
right? It's very much geared towards deep
Having your
interaction.
gold foil that's $400 in front of you, and I literally read 4 podcasts before I got here, and I know the interactions here.
Well, like you think about it, like when you first started playing Flesh and Blood, you play say a 3-round CC Armory. You're probably exhausted at the end. Like
Right.
you're ready. You're like I'm ready for a nap. It was fun if you enjoyed that intense.
You have to be a specific player to enjoy
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's not 7 colors of the rainbow will enjoy that
Yeah.
player. It's the control people
yeah,
that have 4 years of Magic.
yeah.
You have 20. How many years of Magic? 10? Don't ask.
Off and on since
So control
revised.
players that have Magic coming out of their veins, it is like you fell in love with this game quickly.
Yeah.
Everyone else maybe like I think the thing I fell in love with was I randomly top 8 a skirmish sealed as what's her face Prism
Yeah,
because we
Yeah.
I have Phantasmaclasm,
Yeah.
you have Phantasmaclasm.
Yeah.
You do yours first. It worked on 2 other people, but not against Craig.
I remember
You
that.
top 8, I top 8. I'm like, I have a shiny card that I can trade for
Yeah.
Grasp of the Arknight that I still have in my bag.
Nice, well done.
But it's like that's a fun thing that has gone away from of every time we not skirmish, I guess, but every time we do anything
Yeah,
bigger than an armory, it's bring your $500 deck
yeah,
minimum.
yeah.
Good luck, brand new players. And there's are you guys getting brand new players in Simi Valley where it's like
We
I
are.
love this, but y'all are kicking my ass, and I'm gonna go practice for 2 months because like some people have said that of like, why don't I come back after learning stuff and try again because I'm not enjoying the Tuesdays.
Right, right. No, that's part of the problem, right? Is like it's daunting for those people. So, I know there's been this PVE that's been floated around. I don't know if it's official. I don't know if it's rumor
Right.
mill. It seems like it's fairly official. Like,
Fight this box of chicken.
yes,
Like
but
you
something,
bought it and now
It-
this has blood rush.
but
Get stuff on
something,
your cards or something.
something to let people who aren't just very competitive gamers enjoy Flesh and Blood because it's such a cool universe. It's so well made. The core of everything, of the game mechanics are so good, but like, how do you port that into something that, somebody who likes, Candy Crush is gonna. Maybe that's not right, but you know what I mean.
I get that layer of thought process. And like I think one thing that is interesting to me is like you don't have to balance cards if they're for a casual format.
Totally.
Of like, you know what? Here's a Bolton sword that Bolton can use, and if he charges every time he charges, it sticks around and it does more damage, and he's gonna fight the dragon. You basically have to have Duskblade, but for Bolton to even come at this dragon.
Right.
And like, I think one thing that just popped in my head where I'm like, I don't know if it's stupid or whatever, but those Blitz decks over there that are 40 cards, it's like if you built a party pack and there's some kind of like, this is 25 cards that this one's going to be all warrior, but some of it's like from all different kinds of sets. I don't know. Like
I'm going to build my party pack that could have like the really good deck, but you don't play these cards in other formats. It's just casual.
Yeah. Though they're exactly
Like a cube built from LSS and Co.
I mean, so like this goes down so many rabbit holes, right? Like it's tough when you start making too many products, right? There's times, but like, you know, if you made you know, Yoji.
What is Yoji doing? Yeah.
Well, it's funny actually. People are now using him to try to. I heard him try to fatigue and blitz because he's got 2 extra life. Brian, my man, yeah, no. I know there's people on this, and that's what's fantastic.
Right.
Like, you know,
because I love Blood Rush, and if I could Blood Rush with my friends towards a common enemy, everybody's
awesome.
probably going, "Holy crap! It's Blake's Blood Rush turn. Let's go!"
Yeah.
Instead of like.
Well, like think about like the biggest Flesh and Blood interactions. Those crazy I don't know. Blood Rush is a good example. The Channel Mount Heroic into Force of Nature type things. Like people want to be able to do that, right? Like you know, it's hard to not use the Commander analogy where it's like part of what made Commander so popular in Magic was like people got to play big things that you couldn't do in a competitive format because you got to be so efficient.
Right.
And like
I don't have the room to do trapeze artistry whenever Briar's hitting me for 15.
But people want to do trapeze artistry. A lot of people do. Like very competitive people don't necessarily want to, but a lot of people do. And like you can come in and just play. So
I think that's one thing about one game that I do the trapeze in is like Hearthstone. Of like I'm on my phone, like what's the perfect combo? I have 7 Boars die, and then I get a sword that comes in for 15 and erases all of your mana.
Yeah.
Like you spend 4 hours playing that deck, and it works once, and you're like, that was a good night, and you're just like, why did I do that? But I am that dumb to like.
No, that's the perfect
I want
kind
to
of
trapeze.
casual thing. You know, it's funny coming back to our event with how many Katsus made top 8? Was it 4?
3, I think.
3 of them. I
There's
made a
gas in the tank for that hero.
I think one of my earlier pre-outsiders like predictions on one of these AGE slides was like, what could you bring back if you wanted to, or make good that was an old mechanic? And I said combo, and then earlier today I said Flesh and Blood's in its best place when Katsu is a playable deck, and I think it kind of follows these lines because like Katsu's fun, comboing is fun when you get to like. You hear people out there say, oh, my God, I got Dishonored or I got off Dishonored. Like, those make for memorable moments. More stuff like that.
And if you're 4 bands of ninjas in this PvE thing and you're fighting Yoji and maybe the other, like, samurai guys, and it's like you have to everyone has to dishonor Yoji to knock him out, it's like, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
I know that's like a board game is what we're talking about where you're just like, oh my God. But like, I don't know. That is something I do like the idea. I'm very bad against playing against Katsu, but I think that is a good idea of if Katsu is good, we're healthy.
Yeah.
If Katsu is dumpstered by a defensive deck, that defensive deck probably has a little bit too many defensive options because he is the one who can do a +1 bump from Ancestral or your Shuriken at this point, or your Breaking Skills, and like all that options. It makes sense that that's a good deck now.
It's going to be pretty exciting when Oldham goes.
You're excited for that? Gary, it's not over. We're trying to fill in top 8 because somebody rolled 3 ones in a row.
Yeah, Levia did Levia things. Hey, Gary.
Gary played Levia. He knows.
Yeah, no, it like Katsu's probably going to be in a pretty good place once Oldham's out of it.
Are you ever going to play not Guardian?
Yeah.
What's the next one? You're back on Prism, Advent of Thrones or something?
No. Prism's given me too much hurt over the years.
That's why I don't play Rune Blades on purpose.
But although I'm pretty fond of Dromai.
Okay.
I think Dromai fits my style, so I might try that.
Are you worried that you're going to be 8 months of micro decisions behind all these people that say, I have a 90% matchup into every hero? Are you worried that it's going to take you 8 months to build up the ego that some of those guys have?
That's pretty funny. Actually.
I don't think the cards are going to trip you up. I think it's the amount of distaste you have to have for everyone else's heroes and how better you
No,
are.
you know how I'm going to tilt them all? Here's how I'm going to do Dromai and really piss them off. I'm going to put no cold foils. I'm going to have regular dragons.
And just pull
no
them out barely and say,
yeah. Use the checklist cards and then use regular basic dragon.
It's been months since I've seen a checklist card.
When's the last time you saw not a Marvel dragon? Like
my own deck box.
Yeah.
When I was like, get this deck out of here. I mean, nobody plays them. Everybody
like
has to spend $2,000 for that deck.
Token Ashwings. Like who does that? I didn't even know those were legals.
And by some of those guys, he means 3 guys. I'll do it. That's cool. That's interesting because you can still be defensive.
Yeah.
But then you still have your power. And now you're going to be like, I got it. Don't worry. The red dust of the desert is probably only a 67-cent card.
Yeah.
You saw the power of that today, though.
I felt the power of that. You know, a lot of people look at those kind of matchups and they probably think you're nuts for wanting to play into those. Like you look at like the Michael Fang semifinals.
Right.
What was it? 2 hours.
Juha versus Michael.
Yeah.
2 hours. Like
But
I was at an armory while we were watching that, and we got through a round and a half of Flesh and Blood while that was going on.
That's my favorite Flesh and Blood. I know, like sitting there and doing aggro mirrors
sucks. Yeah. I'll agree with that.
Yeah. I enjoy trying to sculpt for the long game. I'm happy to try to find a deck that does that. But I also kind of want to try to play an aggro deck too.
So you haven't seen the stream, or you watched the finals probably.
So
or you heard about it.
I was eating dinner when the semifinals were going on. So I had my phone out, like skimming through, trying to figure out what was going on. I was starving.
Because there's 3 deck lists that I've seen that were top 8.5 because Ian got 9th place.
Yeah.
I think Ian's deck was the one Justin was most impressed by. Juha had stuff going on his.
Yeah.
And then Mario's was a complete different
Yeah.
thought process. Of those 3, were you like, I would pick that one if I had to do it tomorrow?
So I haven't seen Ian's deck. I do have huge respect for him. Great player. And
what part of the team is he with or whatever?
So he's with, I don't know all the people, but he plays actually with Zane and Yuki Lee Bender.
So it is those guys.
He's in that group, and they obviously make incredible decks. So I haven't seen it. But I lean more. Is it Yuha or Juha?
I think Yuha. Juha. Okay.
I'm
from the place where we go jalapeno, I guess.
Yeah. I guess.
My bad.
Yeah.
I do follow him on Twitter. I was like,
Yeah.
Fabdad, if I ever have a kid sometime in the next 45 years, I need to know how this works.
I think I would go more that way, just because it does lean a little bit more, I guess, control.
Yeah. We're putting in.
Okay.
Getting the knowledge from Justin real quick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Craig. It only is only Ian's list has every defensive option.
Gotcha.
And then how many Remembrance and how many Uvia?
Okay.
3 Uvia. 3
So he's playing the
Necrovia.
super long game.
Yes.
He's doing like the equivalent of Fatigue Oldham.
If you sit down and you are not ready for this, bye. Goodbye.
Sounds good. Win when your opponent's not ready. Those are good wins.
But Breyer still has 938 or whatever. So 888 for Oldham. Is that going to last, or is it Nationals probably takes him away?
Well, the big thing is is new Prism
God, yeah.
going to be like old Prism? Like there's a chance that Prism comes out and he just stops dead in his tracks, right? Like Oldham, if in a meta where Prism's good, Oldham's essentially unplayable. But, again, it's a new hero. There's no Luminaris. But all of those all those wonderful auras are still legal.
What I'm interested is mostly all those auras are going to be written on the text of what we want. So Ode to Wrath can do Luminaris' text. So it is going to be...
Correct.
There can be Go Again if you have a yellow.
Yeah.
Or maybe it doesn't even need yellow. It's been a while. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how those decks balance
whatever new shenanigans they're going to have.
Yeah.
It's going to be invoke angels, and then also your heralds. Heralds are going to be like only good if certain stuff is up. Yeah, somebody's saying just depends.
Yeah,
if the
no,
person
we don't.
floors.
Yeah, we really don't know. So it, in the new angels, right? They have ward on them,
But not phantasm.
and ward, like, lets you still attack your opponent and potentially, right? You can attack and kill.
It's amazing because it's like you don't have to choose between the dragon and Dromai. You just go
yeah.
towards the prism, and then whatever she doesn't block hits an angel.
Which is part of the genie. Like, to me, it's like clearly they're trying to rebalance that class to be like, okay, we have this really cool concept with the Spectra and the illusionist things, but it was just too difficult to deal with without being able to, attack two things in a turn. Like,
Right.
even with Go Again, right, it nullifies that. So a way to, balance it a little bit more like Dromai, where if, you can possibly kill more than one thing a turn, then I think we're back in business.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Soraya.
Yeah.
Soraya. That card, I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to be able to expect. This one says invoke Soraya. The other one says something different. There's like, this is an ally. The other one says angel on it. One of them says something about light illusionist is Soraya. The new Bologna could be used by Bolton, maybe?
Yeah, I think it's light only. So that's cool if light is like the
Invoke.
the talent or the slice of the pie that's like summoning angels. That's a cool place to be. We do know that regardless of whether she's good or not, she's going to be 50% of the meta because like all of the people that are going to switch back just they love some Prism.
You said something about Sigil of Suffering is going to be good against Ward. What does that do?
Because yeah.
Hey, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to just play. Like, Viscera is going to ruin everybody's life, right? It's going to go, I'm going to Revel in Runeblade, kill 4 angels, boom, 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 boom. Goodbye.
Yeah, but what about when Viscera loses Rosetta Thorn? Because Briar, Living Legends.
Yeah, when is Tyler going to Living Legend this year, or what's going on?
Maybe.
I feel like if you took Briar to Pro Tour, you know something that I don't, but it does. That deck looks good whenever he plays it. Not trying to dog on the people I play Tuesdays with, but like there is a thing where I haven't played against this deck. We got somebody from the upstairs saying, how do you feel about meta right now, and how are you feeling? I said it way less eloquently.
I think the meta right now is great. Like there's
Let's remind you what it is.
I mean, we have one 90-90 in the form of Oldhim versus Dromai, but other than that, there's no. I mean, I guess there's some lopsided stuff. There's no like complete party pooper. Lexi, based on the stats from the Pro Tour, appears like she probably is too powerful if she's getting 60% win rate. But also, there's probably time. She feels counterable if she overtakes. So I don't want to be too quick to like.
I mean,
do
Uzuri could
something
just
about
come into the meta and
right,
absolutely push her.
Right, there are
out.
counters. So
Not push her out, but like ruin her
yeah.
her round 3 and her round 4, and then why is there Alexi at 2-2 and losers?
You
I
know,
play the only 2 Uzuri in the room.
Some people like to argue that a 3 like hero meta is better. I don't know. I think this is completely subjective, but for me, I think it's cool that there's no. Well, I guess Lexi's probably clearly the best deck, but you're not just giving up if you don't play her. I don't think. Yeah, there's not. Yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't show up with Starvo, it was like, why are you not playing Starvo? You have to play Prism, who beats Starvo.
And I really think Chain got to that point too. And like Chain, like even if they weren't quite there, like was so powerful, it warped the whole game of Flesh and Blood. I don't think anybody's warping. Like, oh, I don't have a strategy that can either fatigue or like race somebody who by turn 5 just overtakes the game.
Right.
That doesn't happen right now. And even Prism had a little bit of that. If you didn't have a strategy that worked against Prism, she would just
Goodbye.
She kind of had inevitability.
I think one thing too that blows my mind when you think about card game design and game design at all is the idea of like you can't like polarizing matchup like 60% win rate. The idea is to have your win rate be like 51 tops.
Right.
You're hoping for 50.
Yeah.
So 60 doesn't really feel that oppressive, but if the goal is 50.01,
yeah.
you are percentage points away enough where it is like we need to figure out something here.
Well, and you see it in the big events, like in Baltimore, right? Like people got all the stats, right? She's like 50% of the top 8, 50% of the top 16, 50% of the top 32, maybe even more. Like, and it's like
All the way down.
over time, right? All of those 60%, 60%, you know, lead to a completely lopsided situation.
Okay, well, that's an hour with Craig after we watch somebody roll 3 dice ones. We're going to take a short break to get the top 4 match ready. Thanks for talking with
Thanks.
us. That
Thanks for
felt
having
like
me
a
in.
mini podcast out
Yeah.
of nowhere, but
Yeah, we'll start it.
hopefully that didn't bore people at home too bad when they were doing laundry, but we'll see you guys in like 5 minutes.
Hi, welcome back, everybody. I'm joined by Craig Pollock here. We're going to be commentating the next round. It's going to be, who is it going to be? It's going to be, where's the matchup show?
We got, ooh, look at that.
Chris Iali versus Connor Davenport. Reinhardt versus Katsu.
You didn't know, but this is the 2019 AGE Invitational.
We went back in time to some classic WTR heroes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then also we're going to take a quick look at top 8 just to see the other decision matches. So we have Tyler Horsepool versus Peter on the other side of the bracket. That's going to be Briar versus Lexi. That's going to be another hard matchup for Tyler to climb out of, but if he can, then he's going to see, I think, probably a favorable matchup into the finals.
Yep.
All right. Perfect. Go back to
Pretty exciting.
match intro and main screen. Oop.
They unbanned drone. Not even this format, and WTR is back.
WTR has always been strong. I think there's a lot of great heroes with great abilities, and we've always just needed more support for those individual heroes, and that's why you're seeing like a resurgence of Katsu. Katsu getting the massive buffs recently in Outsiders with like his flying dojo cards, his Be Like Water, that new amazing one that just gets you a free card, Path of
Bonds of Ancestry is just amazing, and the combo lines that people get excited about. It's like, oh, look, I did double bonds in the same turn. And let's see, we got some lists here.
Some lists. Take a look at Chris's Katsu list. He has 1 time snap potion, which is interesting.
Yeah, I wonder what that's. I don't know who that's for.
He says he wanted to play memes. I saw on Twitter, so maybe he's just having some fun.
He's always having fun.
That's good.
But he's also always playing to win. So.
It's really interesting. Katsu, great. Got all these new buffs. Super good in the meta now. Very fast, hyper aggro deck. And then Reinhardt players, just stubborn. Not really too many new cards, but just want to be here playing Brute.
Brute's one of the pet classes, right? It's like if you're a Brute player, you're a Brute player. Because the meta's really never been your meta.
No.
You just kept bringing him. So why would you stop now?
You can't give up. You got to keep rolling those dice and hope for the best. Opening turn, we have the Barraging Beatdown. This is exactly what Brute wants to see. Stripping cards, making the block very awkward.
Yeah.
Intimidating 3 times. So the block. So the Savage Feast is going to discard 1. The last one is going to be Massacre. Massacre says if you discard me for a cost, then you also intimidate.
Yeah. So
3 cards intimidated total. Chris is unable to turn off the Barraging Beatdown now because he only has 1 card in hand.
Yeah.
So
this Connor, it knocked me out. He beat me round 5, and this was pretty much his start versus me as well. Just here, take your whole hand, and start at 30. He did 10 to me on turn 0.
Oh, man, that's a strong part about going first with Reinhardt is you can just really get those intimidates off, especially if your build's set up for it. And 3 is always the perfect amount, especially when you get that barraging down. 5 damage is a big chunk to get out for free, especially on turn where you redraw.
Yep. And he got the arsenal, all that. He got the draw off of the Savage Feast. So.
Yep, because he discarded 1.
But Katsu says, I'm going to hit you for 1 anyway.
Chris, he's like, fine, I'm taking 5 damage before. This is the start of the game. We're going to pitch our blue. We're going to do a classic Kadachi, poke, poke. Usually you always take the Kadachis unless you think he's going to be going for something clever with a massive momentum play.
And he's actually running Pouncing Lynx.
Correct.
It's a little
shiny.
yeah.
It's all good. That Link, so no threat for mask triggers. Just good poke damage. What's next in the combo line for Chris?
I think he's got a Descendant Gust Wave, Fluster Fist, and I can't see the last card.
He doesn't want you to know.
No.
And that's a Descending Gust Wave?
I believe so. Red.
Yep. Red. Coming in for 3. So this one's usually the most important thing. When playing against Katsu, he really can break open his turn by correcting his hand off the first attack action. So if this is hits, this will allow Chris Ollie to activate the Katsu effect and potentially correct his hand to a better combo.
Yep. Connor knows it.
Yep. He's going to be blocking with 3. Nice. Right after. Has go again, so it's a 4 break point. This one's a little bit harder for him to fetch exactly what he needs, so it's mostly just coming in to threaten damage. But Connor having the exact answer. Good little sync below, correcting his hand. 2-card hand for Reinhardt. Very strong. Chris choosing to just arsenal the last card and continue the setup for next turn. Looking for that big combo line.
Yeah. yeah.
What?
That's what he's going to be looking for, because what just happened there is the exact game plan that Reinhardt wants to play, right? He wants to play this mid-range, let's swing some stuff, do some vanilla damage. I'll poke you, you poke me, but I'm more efficient than you.
Correct.
Chris wants to attack for 20.
And he needs to have his enablers do that. He needs to find accelerators like Art of War.
Yeah.
He needs to find things like the combo lines organically if he wants to be able to do it effectively, because he won't have to rely on the COTS ability to correct it all.
You think he's thinking, maybe if I block all this, I'll get go again on my turn with my quicken token?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think you have to do I think he's just doing the calculations of like, man, what if I block this? How does that?
Yeah, I think he's going to block for 1 here. That's what it's looking like.
Well, he has Flick Flack and Arsenal, and I see one in his hand right now. He could potentially block both with just 2 Flick Flacks.
Oh, he does have 2. Okay.
So here's comes down 1, and then he's going to take some. So he's just going to mitigate some of the damage, shore it up a bit. Going to take 3. He didn't need the quick in, but just didn't want to take a ton.
So one thing on, blocking with the bracers there, against Reinhardt, he doesn't have really on hits. So you kind of want to get your counter out of the way as soon as possible, so that way you free them up to be able to use them, and you don't have to worry that you didn't get the value out of your block. So against a lot of heroes, right, you want to use it for a break point, but not so much here.
You never know the opportunity where you might need that attack reaction for a good on hit, so that's exactly correct. Using it earlier is better than later. I think good point is that Reinhardt doesn't have too many hard break points and too many on hits that you'll need that 1 armor for. So just get the free block in it, save that 1 health, and look to find that good combo piece to really swing tempo out of Reinhardt.
And this is like attack you don't want to have hit.
Oh yeah, surging is also super awkward. A sync below doesn't quite cover it. It goes right over it. So you're gonna have to give him 2 cards, or I think that's the best way to do it efficiently is some armor and a card.
Yep, and look, he's got it.
He's got the awkward break point. This is one of the on hits that is gonna be effective. And also the scary part is now that you've used your breaking skills, you now have 1 in the chamber to potentially make that 5 if he had a perfect block.
Yep.
But here's that perfect block coming out. Does Chris opt to?
So Chris doesn't have a card in hand to Katsu with. So he can't, and you said we know he has Flick Flack in the arsenal.
I know that's the fact that it was a Flick Flack in the arsenal.
So he might, I think you could argue it either way, but he's going to go for it.
He draws a card off this though because
he's going to YOLO for that Bonds event. No, actually, does Bonds work off of any gust wave, or does it have to be descending gust wave? I actually don't.
Does it say descending or does it say gust wave? I think Bonds is an older one, so I think it says descending gust wave, not just gust wave. And the new cards say like half of the word.
So Bonds is actually from Outsiders, so
okay.
it might be any gust wave.
Okay, then it probably is then. That's the super interesting. It goes quite over. I don't think he has another option for defense react to block this.
No, I think this is. No, he does.
Oh, a reckless swing. Okay. He says it's worth blocking here. I got a piece of his armor. Playing it safe. Connor doesn't want to see what's on the other side of that card at the top of Chris's deck.
I think Chris is pretty happy with this interaction. If he get a
reckless out,
he just used 2 cards to block 1.
Yep.
And I know he blocked the on hit, potentially more, but
yeah.
Now he gets to just have a free hand of another crack at him.
You think that you would have let him have the on hit, saying it's not worth it, and hoping that Chris breaks into not that good of a card to snap back with?
Maybe. I mean, he discarded Command and Conquer off of the reckless swing.
Yep.
So, his crackback is Command and Conquer had he let that hit.
Correct.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good, especially Katsu doesn't have armor to really soak it up. So
given that he actually had a good swing back, I think I probably would have let it hit and then cried when he drew the right card.
And that would have been he didn't know. That would have been a flick flack in Arsenal, which would have been even worse. So
Yeah,
Chris
yeah.
is like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I have to block this.
Yep, yep.
But that's hindsight. We know that they don't.
Yep.
I like how this is also a dual wield match. You don't often get to see
Yeah. Yeah.
double weapons.
We have the offensive brawler versus the pure DPS.
All right, so coming out with 100 wins. Good start to the chain. Has to go again. Usually nets you a card. Once again, Chris is often trying to find that first card to be something simple in order to correct his hand for a better go. He seems to have an answer before this defense goes.
There
Ardor.
we go.
So it gets spicy. So usually you're going to do the +1/1 and draw 2. That's all the classic bread and butter for Katsu.
Right, and this is going to let Chris get a Katsu trigger if he so desires.
So you draw the cards first, and now the damage will resolve. Yep, all good. No responses here. So it's going to go over. Katsu effect is able to be used. Chris says, let's do it. He's going to discard one of the many cards that he got off Art of War. Probably isn't anything special to find, what would you, another 100 wins?
So I was going to ask you that. I'm actually not, I'm not a Katsu player.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the 100 wins line? These just keep getting stronger, right? They get
As time
+1
goes
for
on,
each
yeah.
one.
Yeah. Kind of like a spreading flame
Yeah.
effect, but they keep stacking up on each other.
Seems like it's got to be the best thing. So he's going to get a 0 for 5 here.
Correct. That should happen. And then I think the last one makes it so you can put them all back in your deck.
Yeah. And let's see here. 100 wins. Yeah, so 3 wins of eternity.
Getting great damage on Reinhardt. Chris really just trying to close the gap. Connor has that health lead, so he's feeling kind of comfy here, but Chris needs to find like a big pop-off turn. He opted not to use maximum momentum here, which is very interesting to me. What would be the best target for your links? What are you trying to find? Like salt the wounds?
So in Katsu, I think you're trying to get the dishonor combo off at this point is your like #1 target. Now Chris is, he's always gonna know the exact best math in the moment. So if there was a time where he's not gonna just be looking for that. If there's a time where getting Winds of Eternity, is gonna be better, he would get that. I think right here it's too early. Like he can't close the game out.
No.
So he's gonna be saving it most likely for that dishonor line.
You like water? Just throwing it for the damage. A good 4 damage. Very strong damage turn coming out of Chris. He's closed the gap a little bit. It's more down to 30-30 now. More manageable for sure.
Yep.
Getting 1 card out of Reinhardt's hand. But Reinhardt's fine playing with a 2-card hand. So it isn't the end of the world. Connor could still have a good snapback if it's like Blood Rush Bellow, or depending what's in his arsenal to go after that Flick Flack that seems to be stuck in Chris's.
Yeah. He's just sitting on it.
He's waiting for the right time to use it. I'm sure he'll use it soon. It's a D-react. That's what they stay there for a reason.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right, Reiner now with a response at 29 health. Not too worried. Reiner still very high health. Has armor. Used all the armor on the scab skins, unfortunately. But here's the CNC. Great timing. Exactly what he wanted to see against Chris. Chris, I'm sure, is not happy to see the CNC right now.
But you will notice Chris's feet. He did not play the Snapdragon Scalers. He's playing blockable boots. Probably for this exact scenario.
That's very true. So here's 1 card, here's 2. Better both block 3, which is possible. It's possible. Bonds and Dishonor were the cards. So, yep, blocks are good. But getting 2 cards out of Chris right now is super great for Reinhardt. It's going to make Chris's snapback not so great. Reinhardt's going to be able to ignore maybe some of the damage that Chris is going to be putting out. And hopefully line up is that a Blood Rush Bellow I see in Connor's hand? Possibly. And a Beast within.
Uh-oh.
Brutes are thumping. They are ready to go berserk.
Do we know what's in Connor's arsenal?
I don't. Most information I have is that it is a flesh and blood card of some sort.
Oh. Oh, he's getting them back. It's time.
Yep, if this hits, this is going to put all the 100 wins before it back in the deck. It's kind of fun. It's like cool anti-fatigue.
Oh, it's only the ones before it. It doesn't include the graveyard ones?
I don't think it includes the graveyard ones. I think it has to be like on the chain, but I could be wrong
Gotcha.
here.
Uh-oh.
It looks like Connor's opting to take all of it, so that's why Chris immediately put the 100 wins back in the deck because that's what that card does. So it's all the 100 wins on the chain.
Okay. Still good.
Yeah, as a Oldhim player, these types of cards that recur things back in the deck, how do you think they're very potent against you for that matchup, or?
They're pretty good. I don't think against Katsu you're going to fatigue.
Correct.
So it doesn't matter quite as much, but
Mhm.
you definitely want a lower threat density deck.
Yeah.
On their side, so you're happy to
Not have as many
not
striking
not
cards.
let them recycle so that they can draw their blues.
Well, Connor getting the Blood Rush Bellow off, missing the Beast Within, but it's okay. Still drawing 2, hitting the Savage Feast. Have 2 floating. Here's where things can get pretty crazy. Connor can swing back with Claw into something in his arsenal.
It looks like he drew a Fate Foreseen. Is that a Fate Foreseen on the right?
I can't quite see it.
That looks like a Fate Foreseen to me. That's not ideal.
Starting out with a Claw, though, for 5 go again. Vanilla damage. Kind of hard to want to block this, especially if you think,
There's the Flick Flack.
Chris is like, get this out of here. It's been in here forever.
Yeah, and it sets him up perfectly, right? So now,
Yeah.
whenever he needs to block for 4, he can.
Block one more, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the next one that you block
Right.
with.
Yep.
So it's a great one to start the chain with. This is exactly what he did here.
Yep. And I think he's got a. Yep. Look at that. So
Perfect.
blocks for 5, right? 3. It's +2 on Flick Flack.
It's
Think
plus
so.
2 or plus 1.
Yep.
Nope, he says it's good. No damage taken. So yeah, then it's 2. Flick Flack's great. It's really shut down the Blood Rush Bellow turn at the right time. Intimidate one more time.
Yeah, and that's brutal, right? Because
Yep.
now he can't block 2 cards even if he wants.
The timing on it was really good for sure on Connor. He could have played that way earlier, but he said, let me bait out another card in so he can't punish it. Cross Strap,
Swing big.
riled up. Plus, yeah, that was the Fate Foreseen. So right up's 3, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so it's going to be 7 plus,
the Blood Rush Bellow.
which is 9, and that's
Yeah.
a blue barraging. It's hard to see from here.
Yeah, it's all right. It might be a yellow barraging, it seems
So
like.
11 or 12 here.
With only one card. It says 9, so 10.
Huh.
So it might have been a blue.
Oh, yeah, blue is +1. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, so yeah, blue. So it's going to be 10 coming in. Chris can't turn off the barraging. 1 card in hand. He's going to take more damage than he hoped to this turn, even with the Flick Flack.
Yeah. Yeah, he blocked 9
Yeah.
and still is about to, yep. He's going to take 7 here. Even it up. But Chris has to be feeling okay, right? So he just took damage, and they're at the same health. So, you know, if they keep trading like they've been trading, you know, he's ahead. You know, after just taking Blood Rush. Although that being said, I think I see another Blood Rush in Connor's hand.
Which is super important, but you also see another Fate Foreseen. So
Yeah.
you need to make sure he doesn't have another card in Arsenal either as well. So he really needs to make sure he's playing this correctly. Fate Foreseen on this first one, I kind of like, because what if Chris has like a Path of Ancestry or something, right?
Yeah.
Gotta
Actually, I don't even think Whelming has. I don't think that Whelming had Go Again. It doesn't have Go Again
Correct.
if there's no surging in front of it. So.
Yep. So Chris is going for the damage. That was a
Oh, and look at that, a red Oasis. Oh, he drew not a good Blood Rush hand.
It is unfortunate. I would say maybe try and swing the claw exactly like this and try and set up that Blood Rush, you know.
Yeah.
So 3 damage is still good. Chris, I don't think will want to block it. He says, yeah, I don't know. I'm at 22.
Yeah.
But he also doesn't want to be kind of greedy. I think a lot of Flesh and Blood players get in this predicament of like, yeah, it's easy just to take the 3 and not think about it.
Yep.
But will that 3 damage matter somewhere else later down the line?
100%. And you look at Chris, like he's going to do the exact math of, if I take this 3,
Mm-hmm.
does it cost me more damage than I deal back? If he can do 4 or more back like this, he's taking it.
Yep. All good to go. He says, I'll be able to use all the cards in my hand. All of them are efficient. I won't have any extras.
Yep.
Chris is, I think, going to make a big push here. You might see the links pop soon because of it. 3, choosing not to pay. So when we play Be Like Water, you have to pay on the play to choose the name for it.
So is it on the play or on the hit?
I think it's on the play. It might be on hit, though.
Yeah.
It might be on hit.
But he's just going to keep presenting 3s.
This is the 400 wins we've seen.
Yeah.
Right? So see that one kind of got recurred back.
This guy's going to get to 1,000. There's got to be, maybe that's the next bounty we can put up. If somebody gets to 1,000 wins, they can
become the master of the wind.
Yeah.
It's a Katsu only tournament. All right. He says it's 3 vanilla. I'm gonna let you hit. He says I bet you don't fetch here, because if you fetch here, you lose 1 card, and then you only have 1 card to pitch. There isn't really a combo line besides
if he gets the Winds of Eternity and gets it back again.
So you can't. So I guess hundreds is kind of a not too bad to have it hit just because of that.
But you're right. He doesn't. He says, "I'm just going."
Yeah.
Oh, he had all reds there.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Roundhouse kick is great. Says, keep my arsenal. That's good enough for now. I don't think Chris can be happy with too many of these cards he's seeing right now. He seems like he wants to do more damage to this Reinhardt.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just not. He's not seeing those accelerators that.
Well,
he
yeah.
needs.
Well, this is why 19 is not
safe territory.
No.
Blood Rush, perfectly set up here. Chris says choose 1. Beast Within. This is gonna go off. Now Connor is gonna take damage. How many before he sees 1? 1.
Chris is liking this. Nope.
2. Okay, not too bad, but he still took a little extra point. So finds the Smash Instinct. That goes back into the hand.
This is not where you want to be.
He intimidates off the discard from Blood Rush Bellow. He's doing all these areas correct, which is awesome. That intimidates there. Now Blood Rush Bellow resolves, and you draw 2 from the Blood Rush Bellow.
And I think that's a swing big on the right.
You now have a 4-card hand again. You're floating 2 mana, and everything does +2. You are swinging for the fences.
This is where Reinhardt kills people.
Yep. I think you do the classic claw. It's just great. 10 damage. Go again. Chris had his cards ready. He's like, all right, just take them. Intimidate them. Chris has an interesting decision now. I think he definitely tries the full block here. I think you're expecting to have things more intimidated. Like what happened earlier kind of trains you to think that, oh man, he might have a barraging beatdown like he did last time where he does claw, barraging beatdown, and then I'm kind of screwed for blocking the bigger barraging beatdown thing. But at the same time, you can't. You could maybe have things with go again. Connor can roll scabs if he chooses to, and maybe do something cool with there's a new card that Reinhardt players use. I don't think he has in here, the Free-Willing Renegade. Let's see. No, I don't think he has it in here. But that one's also, it's a 1 for 6, which is cool.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think Chris is possibly trying to figure out what are the odds that he can do 21 damage to me, right? He's got 2 block on, maybe even he might even block with his links. Right? So like do I have a hand that I can take this and swing back? Or is this a good blocking hand? I try to just block out, hopefully have enough life. But the problem is if you give Reinhardt another, full hand where you don't swing back and you're now sub 10, he's got Gambler's Glove, so he can kind of aggressively attempt the scab skins, you're gonna have a tough time getting a big hand ever again.
I think that's definitely what it's going to come down to is that health lead. And Chris is doing the math on this. Like, how much is he willing to give him the health lead to make it so his turns aren't as threatening? Where Connor say, okay, I'll take it too. Let's just do a classic race. Chris is really digging deep with his brain power to see, are these worth it here? Do I give him 1 card? Do I give him 2? That's another thing. It's like, do you give 1 card per claw so it always soaks up 3 and you're not wasting a point of damage where you're blocking a 6 on 1
Yeah.
claw?
There's like, it's the whole barraging beatdown piece. Like you don't want to get stuck where like you wait too long to block,
Yeah.
and then they intimidate, and then you never got to block.
Yeah. Chris says, I'll take the first one.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty fair. You know, you have a bit of a health lead. You can take one of those, so why not the first one? See what he does next here. Claw again, pitching a route up, so no floating. 3 cards in hand still, though, so most likely seeing another big attack right after this claw. That's going to be buffed by Blood Rush.
Yeah.
We're getting Reinhardt sleeves. That's what we need next.
Oh yeah.
Kasu one's turned out real nice. Now Reinhardt needs his time in the sun. I guess this is the thing. If they buff you, you get sleeves. Like Starvo got sleeves, Kazu got sleeves,
No, that's
Oldham has sleeves, Jeremiah.
The sleeves are cool. It's pretty neat that like the community's jumped on them a lot, right? A lot of people are running their class sleeves.
I'm super excited. They definitely feel different. I tried getting some custom ones, but they aren't the same as the matte ones. So, Chris Elliott opting to take another 5, going down to 9, turning off any Scarf or Scars Connor may or may not have.
There it was, swing big.
Swing big coming in with the Blood Rush turned.
There's what I said. And look,
10.
the matte, we'll see how correct I was if he blocks with his boots. Now, going to 1 is kind of nuts against Reinhardt because of Reckless Swing.
It's going to 2 is also,
Yeah, but he could go to 3 with both of his armor. Be out of Reckless Swing range. I don't know what he has in his hand, and obviously it depends on what he can present back.
He has cross straps. That's a free big boy right there. That's a free surging if you want. Just a tough spot to be in. Seeing both those Blood Rushes really shot Connor ahead. The second one really put Chris behind, especially later on in the game when he was already like sub 20.
Yeah.
It's always hard seeing those accelerators sub 20. You're like, man, I have to give you all this. So, yep, here are those boots, just like you're talking about.
Yeah.
Says that's what they're here for, to block. I'm going to give you maybe 2 cards that block 3. So I'm going to block 8. I don't need a quicken token. I'll take 2. I think you can afford to take 2 here.
Yeah. You know, he can definitely.
Now the trick is like, are you still save your links? Your links doesn't block for anything. I'm pretty sure. Does it block for anything?
It does block for 2, but it dies
immediately. So it's like mask.
Yeah. 2 with blade break.
Interesting. Okay. So now that like you're probably not getting the Dishonored line off, you're fetching something else that's 2 or under. I'm trying to think what that would be. That's like scary or does damage. Blue Snatch.
I didn't. Oh,
Right.
did he? Oh, maybe he did have a. Maybe he had a. Oh.
Cross strap. We had 1 card intimidating from the Blood Rush, remember?
Yeah.
And then the rest of them were just plain damage.
That's interesting. So he lost a value out of that cross strap, but he's going for. Oh, so he has the bonds line.
Nice. So that's super good to have organically, bonds. You didn't need to go fetch it. This is just going to happen. Good break point. Reinhardt's going to have to respect it. He is going to get, is that the Dishonor? I see him put at the top. You can fetch blue bonds off of mass. That's a good point. Bonds is just great. He can continue the line. Giving things go again is going to be a little rough, though. I guess he has the Breach Rider boots. He gives all ninja things go again.
Yeah.
But he would have popped that earlier. But I think he probably going to use that for defending things when things get intimidating. That's I think knowing how to use your armor against Reinhardt is super important for the exact reason is that he can just delete your hand so you can't block anymore. And you're going to need things on the field that can block for you.
Yep.
traditionally you get Crown of Seeds and the Shield that you can pitch
Yep.
to, but Katsu.
Not so much.
Not so much.
Yeah.
Still holding strong though. At 6 health, Chris is feeling kind of comfortable as long as Connor's
Yeah.
still
Well, Connor's blocking, right? So we know he's not going to do another big
swing turn like
blo-
Blood Rush.
Yeah. And
Connor's blocking perfectly too with like a sink blow at the right time.
yeah, he's got the D reacts when he needs them.
Such a pro gamer. It's the mustache buff.
Chris is like, I was supposed to hit.
Yeah, that's exactly what Chris is saying. He's like, man, I didn't plan for him to have to sink.
Yeah.
Now what do I do now? Do I save this card for Arsenal? Do I continue to move this chain up? Do I threaten damage here? Because 2 cards might not be enough to make Connor want to block even more than that, so why not just wind up for another turn?
It looks like he's got Winds of Eternity as his last card. Yeah, so he's just going to...
Get the damage while he can.
Yep.
He's going to do poke, and he can still do the mask if he wants.
Yeah. That's true.
But is the mask armor more valuable here, or is the mask damage more valuable? That's what you have to ask yourself.
So what? I don't know Katsu's nuance well enough. The Breeze Rider Blutes, their attack reaction, are they free?
Breeze Rider Brutes, I'm pretty sure, are free, and they give your ninja attack
A combo,
action.
right? It's
Yeah.
a combo card. Go again.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, that's an interesting block.
That is going to correct kind of a stuck card. You can't pitch it to swing back here, so I kind of like it,
But what? I'm curious why he doesn't put it on this for an extra 1, right? He lost one
use out of it.
1 point of block, right? He blocked a 1 with a 2 when
Yeah.
he knows a 4 is coming.
The efficiency was a little bit lacking here.
Yep.
I feel you. Maybe he forgot. It was,
Yeah,
Chris
no.
put it off to the side.
Yeah.
Something I would do. Just like, here,
Yeah.
oh, this is the last thing you can do.
I think he just shook his. I think he sees it too. I can see his face. He's like, oh shoot, forgot.
Oopsie. But it's okay. Maybe that 1 damage does or doesn't matter. We'll find out. Maybe he just calculated where that was a calculated risk. I don't know.
Maybe he thought Chris would forget too.
Maybe he's just trying to psyop Chris right now.
That's not a bad way to beat Chris. It's very hard to beat him through natural means. So anything you can do.
Just a quick little BM.
Yeah.
It's very true. That's how I tell people when I explain. I'm like, when you're playing against good players, if you put them in the gray or get them to wobble a little bit, then they'll start messing up a little bit more. But that's the only way you're going to beat them, because they're just going to do the math better than you.
Yeah.
They know more. Does he have another sink left?
Yeah, that's possible that he was looking. Maybe he's trying to get a card.
Definitely, digging deeper, trying to find, I think, the combo. Barraging beatdown's gonna be great. Just don't barraging the Art of War, force him to have it, then it counts as a free intimidate again. Swing big, massive.
Oh, but it does not. No more intimidates. Chris has a lot of 3 blocks in his deck.
That's good. 3 blocks are good.
So
9, 10. We need 10 dice.
But it's 10 or
91. Oh.
Right? If he blocks with 2 cards, it goes down to 8 because of
Correct.
barraging beatdown. So
And then he takes, what would 2 if it would be 6? So you just give him all the cards in full block?
So he's got a Surging Strike that's a 2. I don't know what the other 2 cards block for.
I think you lose agency, though, here if you give him all the cards, right? Like you can't pressure him.
Yeah. It's a pickle.
Then Connor just draws both reckless swings back to back and just does 40, and there's nothing that can happen.
Yeah. Well, we know he used the 1 early, right?
Correct.
So wait, is that Command and
Yeah.
Conquer?
Command and Conquer. on
He's
the
got
top there.
1 in his list.
He's only got 1?
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's looking at. He's like, is that a red face down in my intimidate zone? Oh yes, yeah.
Yep. Very nice. All right, turning off the barraging beatdown. So going down to 9, taking 2. So I think this is being efficient because you can't be too defensive if you're at this low health. You can't just say, yeah, I'm not going to do anything to get cards out of your hand.
Yeah.
And you're going to have 2 cards here.
Yeah.
With 2 cards, Katsu can present
Not quite 8.
Not quite 8, but
Yeah.
close to 8, where you might get scared. What if he has like a razor?
Yeah,
You can snap your
yeah,
mask and get something strong, and then
yeah. Well, the thing about Reinar, right, is like he has a lot of medium hands.
medium.
So
Yeah. He has a lot of fair vanilla damage turns. Surging is great here. This is like the big one. So if he surgings and he then can
he's got
links, he can
Oh,
he
yeah.
can threaten lethal links. There's no more block on Connor's armor.
Right.
And if this, let's say Connor lets this full hit.
Right. So this is great, right? So
Yeah.
Connor pretty much has to 2-card block, and by 2-card blocking, he can't follow up with much.
Correct. Surging was exactly what he needed to see, and red surging was even better.
Yep. It's almost like Chris knows what he's doing.
Chris is believing to the very end that he can do it for sure.
Yeah.
He's playing very tight. He's playing to his outs, I think. He's had some hard block choices for sure.
Yeah.
But I think you're seeing that patience kind of pay off here.
Yep.
And maybe that 1 damage from the Crown of Providence, you might see
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
be relevant. So getting 2 cards out of Reinhardt's hand, very typical. Reinhardt can still play with 2 cards, but let's see which ones he got.
Yeah.
A
Okay.
little pack hunt, okay.
Yeah.
It's going to intimidate 1 just based off of the pack hunt itself.
Solid 6.
So hopefully it's something great. We don't
Chris
get to
is
see.
like, leave me with 3 blocks, please. He does have a lot of 3 blocks in his deck. I know
Good.
all of his blues are 3 blocks.
Very nice. I don't think this Reinhardt runs pummels, correct?
I did not. Let's see here. I haven't not seen any. No pummels.
Okay. So no surprises.
He's very much a meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes.
I'm just gonna
Love it.
keep cracking at you,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna just make you answer. I'm gonna intimidate your best card, and swing for 6 or 8 every turn.
So at least Chris doesn't have to worry about the surprise pummel. Oh, he's floating too. You know, I think there's a lot of fake outs
Yeah.
that can happen with those scenarios. So
Yep.
Chris is like, all right, just meat and potatoes. I got my meat and potatoes. Let me see what I got. This is what I've used. This is what's left in the deck. I think that's a big thing, which are interesting when you're playing as Katsu, is you have to know your graveyard and what's left in your deck because you're
Yeah.
always looking for your combo lines. Then you run out, at some point.
Right. And here it is, right? He knows. It's like, you know what, this going back to what I was saying, knowing the math and using the links exactly, right? Like he wanted to dishonor line. Now he's at a point where he thinks blocking for 2 is the best value.
Out of this,
I can
with
get
a
out of this.
with a yellow flick flack. So I'm gonna be taking 1 damage because yellow
It's
is
got, I know it looks yellow. I guess it is.
It is
Oh
yellow.
yeah, I
There
guess
it
it's
is.
in the
It's yellow.
sideboard here, yeah.
it buffs the next thing, so make it a 4. So you just
Yeah, no, it's good.
tag action is good. So now Chris looking to get him in that Kadachi lot. We all
Right.
been there.
And if you look at Chris's life, it's not 2 or 1, and that is very intentional. He needed to stay out of reckless swing range,
Yep.
and I'm positive he's going to present 7 or more to force a block.
100%. And Connor, honestly, having the beast within here is scary.
Yeah.
That's at least 1 damage you're gonna be doing on your own.
Right,
If you
right,
get even more
right.
than that to go
He
down.
he might block with it at this point to
Yeah.
not kill himself with it.
I might be almost there to block with it. This is gonna get very scary if it's in your hand and you whiff a couple times because
Yeah.
damage is gonna leak here.
Yep.
It's Katsu. That's what he does. He finds the little pinpoints, death by 1,000 cuts, and he's gonna hit you for the 1/1/1/1. And so having it hit at least 2 times this turn and keeping beast within, would you roll those dice?
No.
What health did you not roll the dice for beast within? Like 5,
I think, well, I mean, it's pretty close, but I would want at least 3 health.
3 health before the dice. Okay, so Connor is going to be taking 1 here. It's going to allow Chris to activate Katsu ability. Let's see if he chooses to do so. He's thinking about it. So do I want to activate?
So I'm looking, right, 100 win, or spinning wheel kick does not combo with anything. So yeah, I think he's just gonna.
Yeah. All right. Kadachi.
Now, is he gonna show a red fluster fist?
Oh man, that'd be crazy. Arsenal.
No.
Arsenal. Getting one card out is great. Getting the guaranteed damage is great. Setting up for that turn. Chris has really showed his patience in bringing it down here. And, you're seeing these slight, small, just not a great evaluations, like you said, of the Crown of Providence here, where
Yeah.
Connor would have been at 5, maybe more comfortable health. We'll see how much that matters. Chris also
Yeah,
saw
look, he's
rolling.
YOLO mode, baby. There he.
Chris helped with the assist for the 5 there.
Yeah, he
Bounced
gave
off
it.
of
He
him.
gave it the old forearm.
I would have dodged that right away. I'm like, none of my luck can't take any of it
Yeah,
from me.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
intentional. So perfect. So 2. Connor's be able to present a very big turn with 2 here.
Oh, I thought he was gonna get rid of that beast within. So
Yeah. I think Connor can say though these present lethal each swing, right? So this is good. This is good. So this is 3. It has to get a block 3 out of Chris. Chris does have 1 extra armor left on those Breeze Riders. Which
yep, gives him a 2 block if he needs to, but he's gonna have to block 3 twice, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's in. They're both going to be locked soon, right? We got Kadachi lock coming in from Katsu, and we got Reckless Swing lock coming in from
Yep.
Reinar.
Yep. All right, we're gonna see
Flick Flack.
which is gonna help his next block.
Right
which-
now he's got a 3. For now it's like, so is Connor gonna swing for 6 with a beast within?
I think that's probably the best. Like the flip flop makes it hard because now his blocks are a little better.
Oh, is it? So that's just a 6 with.
That's just 6. Yep. That's the classic 6. I eat your brain skull
So
crack.
so we're gonna see a boots 3 with combo, hopefully.
And it gives Chris an opportunity to kind of swing back. This is the best thing. You had 2 action points. This is the best. This is the most damage you presented. Swinging both claws here. I don't know how optimal that would have been. We still got 2 cards out. This one will for sure get 2 cards out of Chris. This has
Well,
to.
it could be 1 card. If he's got a combo that blocks for 3, right? That'll go to
Yeah,
5
then
plus
you go
his
to 1.
boots go to 6.
But then you're in reckless range.
No, he's got the boots. He could go 5 plus 1. I don't know if he has a 3
5
block.
plus 1. No, but any damage makes him in reckless, which is hard. So now you see Chris laughing a bit. Well, assuming this is a tough decision. This is the reckless decision. You see this right
Yeah.
here? This is where
He's like,
WTR flashbacks
he's
of
how lucky. What is it? You feeling lucky, punk?
it's like, does he draw the reckless here on this next turn? That's what you have to be asking yourself. Does he draw the reckless next turn? Does he?
Yeah.
Doesn't have it in hand. It's not set up, so he just has to get lucky here. And get that reckless, or he pitch attacked it. So there's still 2 in the deck. We've seen 1. Perfect. These block correctly here. Flick Flack making kind of overblock a bit, but it's okay. Chris though still has a strong clapback. He has a blue 0. That's 2 Kadachis,
Yeah.
and he has something in Arsenal, which could be a 4, which could make it even
Yeah.
more. So you're gonna get 1 card out of Connor no matter what.
He's
Chris not gambling. Chris is not a gambler. He says I stay at
Yeah.
3, which I commend him. I think I would have made that decision too. Like they always have it. When you say they don't have it, they always have
They
it.
always have it.
You
Yeah. And
can't-
we've gone a lot of turns and we've only seen 1, so
Yeah, there's 2 in there, and that the game's been going for a little bit.
the time is near.
And it's funny because a lot of people will say the Katsu is very favored into Reinhardt, but I think both players have shown like a really clean game, respecting each
Yeah.
other's power turns, and shows like how actually close that matchup is.
Totally.
People can look at these specs like, oh yeah, he art award me, then I lost, but like that's just high rolling. High roll happens to everybody. So I think you see a game where this isn't high rolling, this is just pure knowledge.
Oh, that's actually a good point. I think he blocked 2 surging strikes, didn't he? Which are not buffed by.
It was 2 surges,
Which
so
is not buffed by Flick Flack.
Flick Flack is only buffing combo cards.
Yeah, so that is an error.
Yeah, so Chris is actually at lower health, right? Because
Yeah, no,
the
he's-
surgeon blocked 2, and he
Yeah,
he's-
it didn't get buffed too by but they played it as if one of the surgings was buffed too.
Okay, we're gonna have our judge gonna. I can't make him stop from it once you realize this. But who has impacted a decision too soon? I think this is just a common mistake by Chris and unintentional. Obviously, Chris isn't Katsu main, so
No.
sometimes those nuances get lost in the sauce when
Yeah, when
playing.
you're switching characters every week.
Oh, 100%. Reading's hard. I say that all the time. I try my best, but
Yeah. I forget what my cards do, and I've played the same deck for 6 months.
I've been crippling crushed and spinaled so much, and I always ask, "What do these do?"
Yeah.
I think it really pisses off Guardian.
Is this the go again one? Is this the discard one?
Which one?
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what you ask.
Kadashi Lock feels good. We're having a producer go out there and make sure to kind of check the game state here. This is definitely hard. I think traditionally how this would play, let's say if you're at Pro Tour and this happens, right? What would be the user resolution? They played through it, right? So you would just continue going on?
Yeah, so it's weird because like it's not like a missed trigger or something. It's literally like those cards don't block for 4. They both get a I guess violation of game state warning at a pro level, right?
At pro level, correct. Just some insight.
But yeah, it's hard to you can't really roll it back, right? Because he might.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a huge difference, right? Not only, and he might block him like 100 win. The card he ended up pitching to swing those Kadachis actually does block for 4. So maybe he chooses to block a surging and a.
Yeah, it seems like they did give him the -2 here, but they're gonna try and roll over it. Like he's like, oh, you're at 2 technically. This didn't block that. He said, okay. We're all learning here a little bit, so you just take the mistake. This is AG is going to be not Pro Tour level, not a Nats level. It's a casual competitive. So we acknowledge it. We make mistakes. It wasn't malicious at all. I don't think Chris is trying to get an advantage, and we learn from it and move on.
But I think Chris is probably bummed because I think he
thought he was at a higher point.
Well, he probably would have blocked
differently
with a card that blocked for 6.
Yeah, he would have blocked differently because of that. Like the Dishonor, I think blocked for 3, and then something else. You could have used a one surging in the boots. So, these mistakes happen. This is why we practice, or we come out to these large events and really test that mental. He's had a long day for sure.
Yeah, no. Chris does not want to win through nefarious means.
No, it's just a game. We're all learning, we're having fun, and we laugh at the mistakes and grow from them. So Chris now doing his best at 1 at reckless range. Unfortunately, Connor just has to find it and discard the right one because I've seen people discard reckless not hit the right one.
Yeah.
So here's the blocks. Chris is now locked. He is in claw lock if he can discard 1.
He doesn't have it in his arsenal, so is it going to be in this hand?
It's always. Look, that deck's so thin. Yeah, and then there's that as well. I thought he did.
You don't block with Blood Rush unless you have Reckless Sway in your hand.
Yep. GG.
Yeah, no. Chris is mad at himself.
It's okay. There's some mistakes happening there. Like I said, it happens. That's a big one. Congratulations to Connor playing through. Being a really resilient Reinhardt, like I said, coming in. Just Reinhardt's wanting to prove that Reinhardt's great. It's a fun deck. It's interactive sometimes when he doesn't intimidate your whole hand. But Connor played as close as I think he could, Yeah. Go back to casters. Boom. How do you feel about WTR Heroes resurging back in the meta? Like getting these buffs. You see Katsu coming like all the way back from pretty much unplayable reaches because of these new cards like Path and Water. Do you want to see that effect happen more with Reinhardt, with Dorinthia, which we might see in this next Dawn set?
100%. I mean, I think people love the WTR Heroes. They're really like well done. WTR Flesh and Blood is just great Flesh and Blood. So, I think you're always happy to see him. I told Blake in the last round, like a meta where Katsu is viable, I think is good Flesh and Blood.
That's good Flesh and Blood,
right? Like he's like that means things are working well.
Okay,
in my opinion. So I'm happy to see him doing well. And Reinhardt, maybe he's about to win this thing, so maybe he doesn't need to be buffed, but he probably does. It would be nice. This has probably been talked to death, right? The lack of on hits, intimidates kind of good sometimes and terrible other times.
Correct.
And so, giving him a little more agency and a little bit more way to disrupt the game, I think would be great.
I sold this to Blake. I'm gonna sell it to you. My card idea for Reinhardt is a new mechanic. It's called a de-accelerator.
Okay.
And it'd be something like a headbutt effect. If it hits, we both lose 1 intelligence.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Reinhardt still likes
Yeah,
2-card hands. It
yeah.
might affect the other person playing out bigger turns, and it's just kind of fun and goofy.
No, that
you
is
know?
that is a cool thing, like right, because he plays well on smaller hands.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. So why don't we both play a smaller hand, a fairer game? So I hope to see things like that maybe come into fruition. Just
Yeah.
more fun.
Yeah. Haikudos in chat said a way to play without Blood Rush package would be cool, and it's
Yeah.
true, right? Like he kind of lives and dies by that one card right now. So
That's a big power spike. Yeah.
a way to not have to rely on that would be nice.
Yeah, he has Berserk. My friend was testing. He's a Reinhardt main that's here. He's testing Berserk as another thing to kind of accelerate his damage and things
Yeah.
like that. But just not consistent.
Yeah.
He has kind of like the Levia problem where it's just not enough new cards. That you're
Yeah.
seeing.
I actually really like your idea of going the other way rather than trying to speed Reinhardt up. Give him ways to slow other people down, right?
Oh yeah,
like
definitely.
in another in a non-ice way, right?
Yeah, in a
yeah.
non-tax way. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes the game shorter and makes vanilla
Yeah.
damage, I think, a lot more impactful.
Right, because if you're playing 2-card hands
Yeah.
against most heroes, Reinhardt wins, right?
Yeah.
So how do you, if he can have ways to kind of move towards that,
Yep.
In a way that's different than get you down to 1, right?
and then he can pummel, make it a pummel target even
Yeah,
better.
yeah,
Even
that would be
better.
Cool.
Just quick pick your brain. What are you most excited for in the next Desktop onset? I know you've been playing Oldhim. You've been playing Bravo as a Guardian main. You're gonna have Light come back, which I know is like the epitome of like Guardians. Is like Prism's coming back. Like that's like such a hard matchup.
If they bring what's his Vincent? What's the new?
The new Shadow Rune Blade.
Vincent, if Vincent
Yeah.
is a quote unquote fixed chain,
Uh-huh.
I mean that would be great. I mean, there's a reason Chain is so beloved. I mean, he was the design of it is just awesome. Playing from your banished is really cool. There's so much. It's so thoughtful. If they can do something along those lines, but that's not also, kind of
Overpowered or
and like
impressive. Yeah.
I think the biggest issue with Chain, even more than just his raw power level, was like he almost warps the game. I think he does warp the game in a way. Like, everybody else gets weaker as the game goes on, or like illusionists have to set all this stuff up. He just like, oh, okay, I got this Shackle 5, Shackle 6. You don't get to play Flesh and Blood anymore.
Because I'm so much stronger in the game. Because I ramp over time. Like,
right.
It's very interesting.
And it kind of like it was kind of antithetical to how Flesh and Blood generally works.
Yeah.
So a way that they can let him play out of his banish and do a lot of the cool stuff, but not have that mechanic.
Yeah.
I mean,
Free Gogan's good.
Yeah. It's
Free Gogan is an amazing ability.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited. I'm a big Shadow player, so I'm excited to see what they bring in the mix. And like it seems like they're moving design philosophies around. They gave, like I said, Reinhardt like a rock. They're trying to make him like big, swingy, like small card hands, like we were saying. So it's interesting to see that being here from the start, like WTR crew and stuff like that. See them pivot to kind of make sure it's not going to be too power crept as time goes on.
Yeah.
And trying different angles.
Well, it's funny because they're almost. I mean, I guess there is power creep. Like codexes are obviously super, but like there's almost like power. What's the opposite of power creep? Like deflation. Like I think what we're gonna see with the new prisms. I don't think the new prism's gonna be as strong as old prism.
Gotcha.
By design, because I think she was probably too strong.
Yep.
Swing won one game, Sigil won the other game.
Interesting.
Oh, so we just got word that the other semifinals match was actually won through a Sigil of Suffering. So both matches were won on
the back foot
defense reactions.
Sick.
That's a fun way to lose Flesh and Blood. Let me tell you, nothing feels better than losing on your own turn. The worst is against Reiner when like you're alive, but you really don't have any way to win the game. You're like, oh, this is ridiculous. Just stop swinging.
So our final is going to be Briar versus Reinhardt.
Yeah.
That's going to be a slog fest.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll have more
All right.
after the break. Craig, thanks for coming on. Thanks for casting.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. Definitely.
Appreciate it.
See you guys at the finals. Be back in about 5 minutes.
All right.
Whoa.
We're back.
Are we at the finals of this thing?
Look at this.
It feels like we just started 8 hours ago.
Yep.
Is it really 8 hours? What is it?
Probably. It's 8:30. 9.5 hours ago.
Oh my god! I thought I was joking. And it was like 6:45 tops.
I was gonna leave.
And now look at you.
Now look at me.
Third career.
I'm a crappy Colin, but
Don't say that. Colin's a great you or something.
oh, thank you.
That's how we can make everyone feel good about
Yeah.
that. So you've seen both of these players do some gross stuff today.
Yeah.
We had Horse Bull take down
Yeah.
a Brute earlier 2 rounds ago. We had Horse Bull win a Savage Brute prize.
Yeah.
So can we have Horse Bull 3 for 3 the Brute stuff today?
That's true. He won the brute. So he did 33. I guess he did 50 plus that turn, including blocks, and then 33 leaked over. And then he rolled over Allen.
Using Allen's own dice, I heard.
We're going to hope that
Was there.
this game looks more like the last game than the quarterfinals, because that was, not the best flesh and blood to watch.
I think what's interesting is what impressed you from Connor's list? What you saw? on the top
What Josh heard me say is I called it a meat and potatoes list. It's pretty interesting. It's got no pummel.
No pummel, so no 2-block.
It's really just a lot of redundancy. Like, look at it. It's just a lot of 2 for 6, 3 for 7, 2 for 8. Like, nothing too.
None of the hardcore high roll cards are in.
No, like Wild Ride is the most. It's almost all attacks, right? So, which is good, right? It makes you hit, but.
And I think the one thing that I say about lists like this is pummel is maybe more of this type of deal, but like a Guardian, like you're playing Guardian with a Blood Rush Bellow.
Yeah.
And so you're playing a meat and potatoes thing that
just
has
value.
the ability of value until I just jump ahead.
Yep.
If you let me Blood Rush 3 times.
Yeah. So and you know what Tyler's playing? Not
He's gonna
quite
play
the same.
Mount Heroic 5 times.
Yeah, but kind of similar thing where he's just going to go like, yeah, we'll do little this, little that, and then hopefully do a giant spike turn. And now I think Tyler drew 2 sigils in his opening hand.
Which are not bad whenever you have the thought process of barraging beatdown coming at you. Barraging beatdown, there's 6 copies in this list.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like an older type of idea, because I think most people went down to 3 blue. But am I part of the Reinhardt Council? No, that doesn't exist. So there's room for expression.
Connor said in order to move forward, we need to move back, and he just brought his Crucible of War Reinhardt list and took everybody out.
I think that's kind of good sometimes. It's like, because there's not even Savage Beatdown in here.
Yeah.
There's not even Terror Limb for Limb, we already said. There's no, even the, what is that stuff called? I play this hero. The yellow that is the way that we can get ahead. Berserk.
Berserk, yep. No, like you said, none of the high roll cards.
If you're wondering why I'm messing up cards for my own hero that I play a whole bunch, it's 105 degrees in this room. I don't think anybody's even trying to make it less than 105.
No.
So if I die on stream and Reinhardt wins as soon as I die, it's me that did that.
We're putting ourselves at health risks to bring the people the flesh and blood.
Right. That's why we're drinking as much water as possible.
Look at this.
We're blocking with Sigil of Suffering to do some damage to prevent an Arsenal card. Is 1 damage worth the Arsenal or not? I think.
Oh yes, he does have a lot of AB. Now,
you always Arsenal and Sigil.
Why are we running Skullhorn?
Skullhorn is to prevent you got me down to less than 10 health and you just Rosetta to me to death.
And does that actually happen in this matchup?
I do think Briar gets you down, and they take damage when you get them down, and then at a certain point when you're both under 10, there is kind of like where there's a standstill, and if the other player has the ability to just do the 1 damage from each Rosetta swing,
I gotcha.
It puts you in such a bad position.
Okay. All right.
I promise. It's interesting. I do think the one rune chant per turn is going to hit more often than not, though.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
am I going to be able to pitch
No,
an
because
entire
it's
card?
so inefficient. So inefficient. This is why you play Oldhim, because then you get to null rune the rune chant, and then you shield or crown the Coax of Commotion.
Does Oldham have enough 6s to run Blood Rush, though?
Yeah, now he does. Now, like the modern, cosplay Bravo lists with no Earth and Ice cards. Yeah, no, I just I picked up my deck already.
I think what's interesting, Reinar, earlier we saw him play Lexi. He played Katsu last round.
Yeah,
Against Katsu, he
real quick. Is it time to? Do you think Tyler's going to give him the Quicken token? He's
absolutely not. That would be the worst thing
okay.
he could do.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I do think, he may get a Quicken token later from a.
Ah, he did it.
He's gonna
Yeah.
do it.
He's
Tyler, you're a risky boy.
Tyler's can't be happy with this. Like, he used 3 cards. He left.
Because even a claw and a claw is pretty good off of this.
Yeah,
this swing off of the Quicken.
Yeah, that hurt my efficiency. So, you were saying something. I apologize.
So
but I won't.
Connor is playing the cross strap. He
Yeah.
played cross strap against Lexi earlier. He lost. He played Tunic against Katsu and won.
He played cross strap last round against Ayala.
Oh, I thought he played. Oh my
No.
god. Well, there goes that line of thinking. Great. We're back. Did he play Oasis though against Ayala or no?
We did see one. He pitched one.
Gotcha.
So he did.
I'm just trying to figure out which matchups I play Tunic in. Apparently, it's none of them.
I don't think Oasis into Katsu is correct, because
I don't
you're
think
gonna
so
pitch
either.
especially without Tunic, because you're now pitching 2 cards every time, and you have nothing you can do with the floating resources on their turn. Now maybe Chris should have played Oasis against Connor to prevent the reckless swing. Maybe that's.
Oh, that would be sick.
How crazy would that be? Katsu goes, with my 1 floating for my, I'm not going to Kadachi you, I'm going to Oasis.
Does this event add
No,
LL points?
It does not,
In our
unfortunately.
hearts, yeah. if Reiner's only living legend points came from
It should.
Londell,
There's a lot of living legends playing in this
yeah.
event, but there's no points given. This is the finals.
This is the end of it all. Bottom right, final. I think what's interesting, we used up that Quicken token. We're not going to have any follow-up, so the Quicken token does not backfire for Tyler.
Yeah, he knew. This is why he's in the finals and I'm in the booth.
Right. Plus, you're good at it.
Yeah, yeah.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
We're going to pitch a blue. We're going to Command and Conquer Go again. I think Command and Conquer Go again, you don't say that very much at all, but it feels like in Tyler he does it at least twice a game. And
You're so right. And in the fact that the first one's not for at least 9 is rare. It's 9 plus go again into something. It's just basic 2.
take it. Connor, don't block. No one cares. No. What?
You must not be able to use that card.
I should really just shut up and try to absorb and osmosis information instead of a Reinhardt person that tops around 10th place. You should be listening to me, brother. I think what's crazy is meat and potatoes usually isn't rewarded in Flesh and Blood. Usually your meat and potatoes get blown out by the crazy damage turns that other
100%.
people have. So people have gone away from a mid-range. I feel like, is meat and potatoes mean mid-range or?
No, I think it does. It does mean mid-range. And it's just got no tricks, right? It's the same turn every turn. Outside of the 3 Blood Rush Bellows. There's no pummels. There's
Gonna block for 6, pitch a yellow, and do 3 to 6 damage to you.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like that should be able to win a game of Flesh and Blood.
No.
And
his finger was trembling.
I know.
He's quaking. He's 6 damage.
Yeah. No,
What?
he did the old reckless swing kill to me earlier.
What the heck was? Oh, it was a Command and Conquer. I was like, what are we blocking with our equipment? That's 2 or
Because
3
we know
2s.
he has a sigil in there. He's
Sigil
had
of
that sigil
Suffering,
in there
yeah.
for like a minute.
I think what's funny is if I don't know if you told the people at home, but Tyler ended up winning his top 4 game using
Yes,
sigil damage.
We did, so that they know that everybody is winning on their opponent's turn.
It's the only way to win.
Maybe that's what I've been doing wrong. I've been trying to win on my turn.
When will Oldham get more options?
I know. I know.
Come on, such stagnant play. He hasn't had a new thing since Peace of Mind.
Exactly.
How many times do you play Peace of Mind in Baltimore?
A lot. I played 2 in my list, and they
It's good every time.
I don't have it today for what it's worth. It's okay.
Okay. I believe you. I haven't. It's only been played once against me, and I was like doing some Missouri stuff, and I was like,
It's great when
this
it's great.
sucks.
Yeah.
We're gonna use our Crown of Providence to get a better hand. Tyler has not taken a single point of damage until right now, which doesn't seem
That's
right.
interesting. What's he going for that he's Crown of Providencing his hand?
It's Gorgane Tome time.
This man.
Did you see that crazy clip where someone was playing Ultimate Pit Fight?
Oh, it's a
And-
channel in there. I thought it was. No.
And they were gonna like, I'll go Organian Tome because you guys already have them, and somebody said, in response, I'll remembrance my Gorganian Tome back into my deck
Oh, I love
and make your Gorganian Tome only be 1 instead of 2.
that. Is great. I like that.
So you can put that away in your brain for
That's
whenever
that casual
happens.
play. No, that's the
Uh,
stuff I'm talking about. Oh, look at this.
I think it
This
happened
is-
to Capolo, so that happened to.
This is why Tyler blocked with his Crown of Providence.
So this will be 7 with Go again because we've gotten our Embodiment of Lightning. Anything that hits, we'll be able to make whatever we want of our 3 options, or modes, as we call them in the business.
Yeah, he can't let this hit. Now, what's interesting is Connor's equipment suite here. That's his only blocking armor.
Chubberdunkus is a Reinhardt player from the Discord, I believe. Honestly, the start of this match, Horsepool has the edge, says Chubberdunkus. Gotta find pressure. Or he's just blocking to dig for CMH. I do think, what do you do if you have 2 CMHs up and you're Reinhardt? You're like, take 18.
Reiner needs his.
I like the old school channel Fireball deck box for Tyler.
Oh, he's got a whole entire backpack full of those. They all have that same wear and tear.
Does it say Briar on top of it, or how does he keep them differentiated?
He borrows Alan's crayon.
Sheesh. Taking the Rosetta this time.
See, Tyler's a pro. He makes sure he lets you know that he's taking
Flowing,
up that
yeah.
before he does his pitch.
Is there any karma coming for either of our players in this round, based on how they won a couple games today? Is luck running out?
They've both, I feel like they've both been on the good end of luck. So I'm hoping they both keep it because that will make for a killer game. Tyler's playing fast. Look at this. He says, I got heroic. I got 5 cards. I'm going to pop my Aether Ironweave for 2 resources because I'm going big. I think he might have another Force of Nature in his hand.
Then he's
Maybe
going to
not.
go really big if he does that. Sonata hasn't been played in Briar in how long? Years or months? Or Sonata
Some people
fits in?
still play it. I think Tyler hates it because he always misses. Oh my gosh, look at this.
He's not missing right now.
Here's 11, 12 with Snapdragons. He says, you can give me your whole hand,
And this is for sure going to get snapped no matter what.
and if you
you're paying
don't give
attention.
me your whole hand, I'm going to get a quicken and draw a card.
Take it.
I think he has to block his whole. It sucks because, right, like you don't know the next 2 cards.
I do think you block the
the car you see right now instead of the car behind door number 2, because the
Yeah.
car behind door number 2 could be, just kidding, I don't have anything, Rosetta.
I'm trying to think of what's actually worse than Coke's hitting. Because right, he gets a card and a quicken. A snatch is just a card.
Look at Connor fully extending his arms up and away. That's how hot it is over there.
Yeah, Connor says, well, shoot.
Oh, there's 2 Connors on screen. Sorry, guys. I'm talking about Connor in the background.
Oh,
I forgot there's 2 Connors. How dare I? Yeah, Connor the judge, maybe not going to make it through this match alive or awake.
yeah.
He will fall asleep. Snapdragon definitely coming down. 12 gets blocked by 12.
Yeah.
And we say that's both piles over here, and now here's a second pile from my hand.
Now, if I see there's a snatch. If Tyler goes non-attack for go, oh. He says snatch.
That's going to hit. We're going to draw a card and then choose an arsenal.
See, this is...
7 is so gross.
And imagine had he not blocked, full block there. He would have, then the snatch would have had go again.
I think that's enough. Like, what's interesting about, oh, it's just 7. Well, there's nothing coming from Connor's side next round.
Yep. Not a thing.
And no matter how fast you can draw Blood Rush, you're going to be 7 or more health behind when you do have one at hand.
Yep.
So the window of, don't worry, I can just keep my, I'll keep my Blood Rush, I'll keep my cards, I'll take 10.
Yep. Now I think
not great
Tyler just bricked. I think Tyler just got briared.
Great.
I mean, he doesn't have no, but
Just kidding.
always be Tony. He knows his
Yeah.
ABTs. You always be Toming.
Oh, that looked like a whole bunch of
Yeah, I
non-attack
think
actions.
he's still bricked.
Oof. There's
I think he has a lightning surge.
Yeah, just one
And
in there.
I mean, he can do like
Still
nimbleism
15 or
lightning
something.
surge, but like, I guess he doesn't. I guess the lightning surge is huge because he has a. Yeah, I guess he does have an attack action now.
Embodiment of Lightning.
This is going to be funny if he just like pitches to play a Earthlore Surge. Oh, this is the stupidest hand.
So the lightning attack is going to be 4 + 3 + 3, or 4 + 5 + 3.
And that's why you always be Toman.
Because instead of bricking and having a Briar hand, this is going to be a lot.
Just
12
12
more.
plus an Arcane. Plus he's got the one floating.
Is he going to remember the Arcane? Don't forget Tyler.
Now this is a spot he could pitch a blue, right, to block the one Arcane, and then Skullhorn the Skullhorn the Rosetta.
He does remember. That's a big turn. For Tyler, it's like his 5th best turn this
Yeah.
last hour and a half.
Yeah.
Tyler has... It'd be kind of crazy if Tyler was like, not only am I going to take the $400 prize, I'll take the $100 store credit. Y'all want me to sign something for you? I'll also take any extra sleeve boxes you got. Like,
I know why we're in the booth together right now, Blake. Because you called me winning, and then I won. And then I called
wow.
Tyler winning, and he hasn't won. There's still a game, but he's looking like percentage-wise, he's getting there.
It's not going to get easier for Reinhardt in the next 2 turns. Still taking a boatload of damage. That's 9. We're going to make an Embodiment of Earth. And then just swing for 1 resource, 2 + 2, please. I think my least favorite thing in Flesh and Blood is when these Runeblade players go 2 + 2 + 8.
Yeah,
Or 2 + 2 + 10.
the Revel and
And
Runeblood.
you're just like, yeah, I get it, brother.
Yeah.
I get this 3 separate times. It's not. It's actually 11 separate times because each one of the 8. If you really want to get into 2 + 2, it's 2 + 2 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. I don't think I've ever said this to them, but it is something where it's like, I get it's 2 + 2 +
None of the Dromais made the top 8 this time. They all knocked out.
You can't talk mess if you're no, but no, the Oldhams did either.
None of the Oldhams did. Nope.
I think that's interesting of like looking at that metagame breakdown of like
I guess Dromai was only 3.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just math at that point.
Katsu did the best conversion. 3 out of 5 made it. And I think the other 2 were pretty high up. I think all the
Yeah.
Katsus did well.
Somebody got smoked by the Ice Lexi, but he was kind of close. What killed all the Dromai in the top 8 was everybody playing Ninja.
Yeah, the ninjas, all these ninjas that are in top 8 kept the Dromais out.
Swing Big is going to be blocked 5, take 3. I think that's a time where I don't really play Swing Big against Runeblade, because if they ever have a quote-unquote brick hand, you're basically just giving them a Quicken token, and then they'll have some better stuff later, and they will make you pay for it. Like, Sonata with the Quicken token up, it has ruined my life at least 3 times. This will be 7 more. It's
And
not 12.
Tyler's last card in hand is Channel Mount Heroic.
Dude, I love the movie Clue, Drifter. You got what I was kind of going for. Have you seen Clue?
I have not seen Clue.
They talk about how many bullets are in the gun and how many have been shot.
Oh, okay.
They go, well, there's 1 in this room, 2 in that room, 1 there, I think 1 in there, and maybe that. So is it 1 + 2 + 1 + 2? Or is it 1 + 1 + 2 + 1? And they just do it for like 5 minutes, and then somebody else gets shot, and it's like, we should have been paying attention.
All right, now it's 1 less. 1 more.
I wonder if Tyler's going to watch this back and go, I thought you guys were commentators, not Clue people. But he's not really worried right now. Do you have enough cards to block 6 damage and keep the pressure on? Of course you do.
So as an Oldham player, this is what, like, it's hard to, like, obviously Reinar can win this because he's here. But, like, I lose to Briars if all I can present them is vanilla damage. Because they're like, oh, I've never blocked vanilla damage ever. I'll take that and then just crush you. So, like, the fact that Reinar is just presenting vanilla damage feels so difficult to overcome just how explosive Briar's damage is. You see, like, he just takes it. Because unless, like you said, a brick hand, unless he has cards he can't use, they're almost always better used on offense.
And what's crazy is if he does have a brick hand, he just blocks out.
Yeah.
So there's no real negative to a brick hand, unless it falls into the wrong time with the with the Blood Rush or something.
Yeah. And like at 15, he's basically his Blood Rush days are over. I mean,
no, it's not going to work anymore. He's going to have to block 9, put a Blood Rush in Arsenal, block 9 again. Oh wait, he doesn't have Tunic to play a Blood Rush, so that's not going to work.
Yeah.
So it is kind of, I think that's the double-edged sword of, oh, I'm going to go offensively and play cross-trap. Well, if you're playing offensively and you're 10 health behind right now, not sure how that's going to work out. 5 damage with Go Again from an Enlightened Strike is a great start for Tyler because it's going to get at least 1 card out of Connor's hand.
Yeah. And Connor's looking at 2. So I think you block 1 here because, I mean, I know, like, blocking 6 on 5 at this point, you can't lose the point.
Need every single point of damage here. I don't know what we're screenshotting something for posterity. I don't think you block. I think that's one thing where take 2 damage from. Okay.
Well, look at this, right?
7.
So like if you put 1 on the first one and 2 on the second one, you'd take 3. Now he's going to take 4. Or he's going to block his whole hand and still take 1.
Yo, can we get an effing poggers in this chat, boys, for my boy Connor here on Reinar?
Yeah, no, it's true, Marcus. Like, we got a Reinar in the finals.
We also got a Horse Bull in the finals, dude. I think what's interesting is Tyler is going to play this very much like smothering of if there's anything gross, I think Tyler's going to block it. If it's not gross, it's just methodical. Like,
Well,
I'm ahead of you and I had a channel mount turn.
He just drew an Earth card, a Snatch. I think I saw another non-attack. This is...
Because this
he's
basically
putting the
says
screws in.
invoke
Invoke
a mountain to have your back, and it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Now block 10.
And this says Go Again. I'm going to draw a card to get another replacement. Just give me 3 cards. It's actually not enough. You'll need all 4.
He's got Iron Weave, so his tunic's up, so to speak.
Oh, my God.
And I didn't see the 4th.
He hasn't played.
Oh,
He's doing the no.
Oh,
Perfect one.
that's solid
Connor,
right there.
this is what you needed, brother.
Yeah.
This is the Reinar luck coming back around of I will stuff this. We know Horsebowl doesn't play any.
Yeah.
He doesn't play attack reactions in this deck. That would be stupid, right?
Yeah, he's gonna pop this. He's gonna swing the Rosetta and arsenal his go again 4.
It's pretty good.
I don't know.
4 more
I don't
damage.
actually know what he has in his hand, but it feels like it's always that.
I think Connor says I'll take 4 and put this card in my arsenal if it's Blood Rush. If it's anything else, you're going to pitch it for Arcane if it's yellow or higher. Uh-oh. The other Connor had to say something. Do you think having a judge and a player with the same last name should be allowed?
No. The judges all have to have unique names.
That'd be nice. Taking 4. I think what sucks for Connor is good luck because the next Channel Mount Heroic turn could just blow you out.
Yeah,
You
no,
haven't seen a single Force of Nature yet, so bye.
that's what I'm saying. Like, oh, look, I think there's 2 Earth cards, including another Mount Heroic in this hand.
Would you say Tyler is most comfortable on Briar, or that's a stupid statement?
Probably at this point, he probably is. He's been playing it for a minute now.
Because honestly, I've been pretty impressed by Tyler. It just seems like he's playing this deck a way I've not. It's not that I've never seen this. It's like
No,
he's doing really well.
He plays it very adeptly.
And you take your first seed all the way through. That doesn't really happen in Flesh and Blood that much because you play your bad matchups later.
Yeah.
Or he could have lost to the Lexi if he didn't have that one specific card. Like there's all kinds of things that prevents a number 1 seed from going all the way through this.
Yeah. And as I said, right, he arsenaled this last turn when he could have attacked with it. And this is why it's heads up play, right? So it prevents you from, and he would have bricked this turn. So he knows he's going to keep the channel. So he might as well keep it and ensure that he has a strong turn this turn. And he's keeping the channel. And he's arsenaling a 3rd channel.
I think there's a thought process, too, of what are we learning today as a audience watching? There's been a lot of talk about, like, some discipline play.
Yeah.
Like, you were disciplined playing Zach in round 1 of this.
Yeah.
I have to methodically take these dragons down, but then it just becomes too much.
Yeah.
And then there's been some other matches where I'm going to go the less flashy play, and, like, now in the finals, Tyler's like, if I save this turn for next turn, I can guarantee 2 turns of this.
Yep.
Instead of just 5 more damage whenever there's a card out there. Yes, Connor would maybe be, I guess it would be 6 damage. Connor would be at 6 right now, but now he has 11 instead of 6.
Right, and look, Tyler would have had no turn this turn. He didn't draw an attack action. So by spreading it out, he his Rosetta's on. His sad turn would have been keep Mount Heroic out and Rosetta for 2. Instead, it's going to be keep it out and Rosetta for 2 and 2.
And look at that. It just wipes away Connor's health here. We have a go again.
Yeah.
I don't know why he took 4 there if we still have 3 cards. But
No,
I don't know these cards in here.
He blocked 4 on 11.
That sucks. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah. Now he's going to take 2 cards.
1 physical, 1.
So again,
block.
like these little things, right? If he blocks 7 on the Gloomveil, then he can 1 card block here, and might be at the same. Like he lost a point here because he's going to take 2 cards to stay alive. So why not just put the other card blocking 3 in front of the Gloomveil instead of 2 in front of the Rosetta. Those are the little.
And that's probably he's looking for the card in oh my God, Tyler's hand right now. Of if he plays anything in between Rosetta, I automatically lose maybe.
Yeah.
And this one I'm just trying to barely survive.
I mean, I guess if he could put his boots in front, but even so, yeah, no, 3 channels is too much.
There comes the boot we were talking about. We're gonna take 2 Arcane. Just kidding, we can't take 2.
And it's not just 3. He's got the 3-turn channel here, with just a little insurance policy.
Rosetta, no, Rosetta would have had to. I don't know. Did he pitch? They're all saying it's all good, so I guess we're fine. I didn't see the pitch for the 2 Arcane, but
Yeah, he did. He did pitch for 2 Arcane.
whoopsie. Connor, what are you gonna do with all this health? He doesn't have any health again. He's given everything. This is something where I would love a mechanic. I don't know what it would be. We're at 1 health a lot. What if the new brute? Okay, we got a blood rush.
Oh my gosh.
Get wrecked,
And it's
buddy.
on 2 reds.
I'm gonna draw 2 cards and do 10 damage to you, and then you're gonna do 100 to me.
Tyler's just going to put all 4 to the side.
I think that's something that really sucks about this is, oh, you draw a sink below. Let's go! I have to pitch both of these to do 5 damage.
It's literally 2
This
reds.
is my time. I mean, you could maybe do the cross strap.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's a blue.
It's a blue. Look at this. He's going to do 10.
Cross strap into maybe a 6 damage attack. Yeah, 10. Horsepul's like cool.
He needs
I win by 15 instead of 25. I don't get any bonuses.
he needs another Massacre here in his hand, but he doesn't have it. He has a sink below.
Massacre would be amazing.
Yeah, but it doesn't even matter. So he hit him for 10.
He's gonna keep the sink.
Oh, look, he's got a sigil. That's funny. He intimidated the sigil. Classic Reinar.
He's gonna lose worse next turn.
Oh my god.
Barely
and
loses.
and he's got break points.
All right, let's see what's on top of the deck. Oh, it's a red, so it's for 7.
He needs to do some sort of Kino Reinar combo where he reckless swings and then
I mean,
blazing aethers it for a 10x.
I swear, if there's a new Reinar, if there's a new brute card where it's like, if you're under 5 health, all of your attacks have +4 on them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do damage to myself to get.
Oh, that'd be kind of a cool mechanic. A low health. Oh, look at Tyler. He's like, I'm gonna pitch.
Make some rune chants.
I'm pitching. Oh, cause yeah, he wins off of anything.
Scar for Scar is not turned on because Tyler's only 19 health above.
Cause look at this. He has to pitch 1 card to the thing, and unless he has another D-react, he can't block.
GG.
Yep.
Tyler has won AGE5. AGE May. Let's look closer. Player 2 focus. Oh, we didn't. Somebody already clicked that. He's like, oh, it was crazy. You didn't see a single blood rush. It was crazy. I saw 3 Channel Mount Heroics. That's crazy how that works. Channel Mount Heroic is basically like an ally card that just says punch your opponent 5 times for you.
Yeah. So he got 5 heroic turns, plus he had one.
No force of nature at all, though.
No.
Like
who needs that?
Like if you said to Tyler, "Hey, you're going to be in the finals, but you're not going to see what are they called? Force of nature at all?" He'd probably be like, "Damn. Well, at least I got that far." Top 8. Tyler takes down Connor. What else am I supposed to click? Metagame?
Yeah, let's hit the metagame here.
Let's see who converted. It's one of the 2 Briars. 50% win rate, baby. Dorinthia lost. That sucks. Reinar, 50%. Oh, the people that brought 2 today were the ones.
Yeah, but the finals had 50% conversion to the finals for Reinar and Brett.
Jeez.
Right, and then 60% conversion from Katsu to top 8.
Wow.
So the Katsu's new.
All day long we were at Collector Legion. They proudly sponsor us. I don't know about proudly, but I don't know if I would do anything proudly for the connotation of that word now. Other sponsors. We got Savage. We got a Brute in the finals probably because of this, right?
Yeah, we did. No, Savage Lands gave the Brute buff.
Highest damage in one turn. Once again, it went to Tyler Horspool, so he's going to win everything
He just
today.
absolutely dominated the day. He was first seed. He wins this thing on stream, I think, right? You can see him get his winning turn that he farmed, and he wins the event.
So we're going to say, give me that $100 store credit, and then go ahead and add 30 AGE open points to me.
Yeah, which he needs because
he wasn't even close. To
no, he didn't have a lot of points.
Sheesh. Speaking of leaderboard, I don't know where the hell that is. Okay, it's right here.
Oh, look at that.
So 30 points. No, I'm guessing Tyler has like 4 right now.
Yeah, he has like I think he's
So 4 plus 30 will maybe put him close to top 8 because some of these other people. Travis Wagner got a top 8 today, so he's gonna go up.
Alejandro got a top 8.
Alan got a top 8. Chris Ioli got a top 8.
Yeah. This one guy at the top, he got a top.
Wow, I didn't
he got top
see
12.
up there.
He got top
Wow.
12. So he'll get some
Is
points.
it cool to be the #1 dude after 5 months still? Or maybe it's 4 months. Who knows? Maybe if Zapata got there.
I don't think he did. I think I'm going to stay above him. So we'll take that.
Take that, John Zapata.
Ioli almost passed me. If he had won there. That Chris, he's hard to stay ahead of.
I don't know if you get a buy for getting #1 or not, but I think that'll be an interesting wrinkle. What's interesting, we're going to have Tyler on here.
Yeah.
Do you want to interview Tyler since you know him and you're BFFs and you know how to ask him smart questions?
I've never done it before, but I
mean,
give
we
it a
might
shot.
as well just
I give it a
literally
shot.
throw you to the wolves and see what happens.
All right,
and then
all right.
You can pretend and give
All right,
him this
all right,
thing
all
and
right,
that
all
stuff.
right.
So Tyler Horspool will be on stream in 5 seconds, and we'll do a 2-minute break and see him there.
And we're back. We have 2 first-timers. We have the first-time commentator and me, and we have the first-time AG champion and Tyler. So let's, there you go.
Oh,
Want to take that? Show the people. You can continue the trend of wearing it next week or next month.
Oh, I'm wearing it now.
Oh, he's gonna wear it now and next month. Let the people know who the champion is.
I don't know how I'm gonna get it. Give me a second.
All right, we got a.
As I break your equipment.
You don't become the champion and then not wear the medal here, the AG events. All right. Well, so Tyler, how was the event?
I came in with a vendetta.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. This guy, he's associated with this company. His name is Justin Lewag. He just talk so much trash about how I can't win these events. I don't even show up.
Yeah.
And so I had to make a point on this one to just try my best. You know, I didn't
Yeah.
think it was going to turn out that well, but
Yeah.
it turned out well, obviously.
Do you think me saying you were going to win was a buff? Do you think it helped?
Yeah, and were you at the tournament, Craig? I didn't see you out there.
Ooh, ooh. I was down at those lower tables. You know, you could have heard me in the background. Yeah. So what was the most interesting matchup of the day?
That would be the Lexi I played in the semifinals that wasn't on camera,
Okay.
actually. That ended up in a 2-1 situation, and I think we played in that 2-1 for about, maybe 12 turns. It was, like, insane.
Okay.
Like,
Were you at 2 and he's at 1? Or
Mhm.
Okay.
And every time he's swinging an arrow with one card in hand, I'm like, is it razors? And I'm like, got to play around it. And then I'm swinging back with no-go again for, like, Rune Chant +4.
Gotcha.
Trying to stripping 3 cards so he can't 3 of a kind.
Okay.
And then he still has Arsenal plus
Right,
thing,
right,
so-
right. And then you ultimately killed him with a sigil, I heard.
Yeah, I had a lot of meme games today. I had one on camera where obviously Alan just low rolled as low as you can on 3
Yep,
ones.
Yep.
I think actually I don't even know if it was up to 4 ones at the end, but at least 3 ones.
Yeah.
And then I killed 2 people with sigils. The last finals actually in my Arsenal's another channel, so I could have double channeled for the win. I had a sigil, could have sigiled for the win, but
Yeah.
he intimidated it away.
Yeah, I
And
saw
then-
that. That was pretty funny.
And I was like, man, I have so many things I can do for the meme, but
Yeah.
things were just lining up really.
Yeah, the fact that you had a channel out on 2 counters with another channel in Arsenal was just like, you've
Bonkers.
got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
No, that was pretty good. So the people want to know, are you going to Living Legend Briar?
Am I going to? I think it's either going to be me or Tarek, right? Like,
Okay.
Tarek's been off it recently, but I still think that's his baby. And
Okay.
I really tried at the PT, and I kind of low rolled my last 2 matches. I might have squeaked in top 8, but I needed to add a couple cards for the Lexi matchup, which I did for this tournament
Okay.
specifically. Specifically Yellow Snatch to like try to make them block more.
Okay.
But yeah, it's gonna be me. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
so-
call the shot now.
All right,
Let's
we'll
call
take
the
it.
shot
So, so does that mean you're going to be on Briar for the Battle Hard in LA in a month?
now. That's probably like if I had to pull my shot right now, then yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a couple other decks that are in the works, so
Okay.
I'll say that I'll probably either play Briar or I'll be playing something so spicy that if I win with it, it'll
Nice.
it'll make up for the fact that I didn't Living Legend Briar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you heard it, people. If you want to play against Calling champion and AGE Open champion Tyler Horspool, you got to come out to the Battle Hard in LA.
You do. I will be there.
Yeah, we'll all be there, ready to go. Well, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
It was a great job,
Yeah.
and we'll see you next month.
Always fun, Craig.
All right. Thanks, Tyler.
Yeah.
thought that guy would never stop talking. Jeez. Just kidding. I don't even know what he said. Was it cool?
He threw a lot of shade.
Nice.
He said he did say he's gonna Living Legend Briar. So
I'll believe it when I see it, bro.
you know,
No, get Rosetta out of here. I'd love that. Basically, what we're going to do here is we're going to say, wow, 5 heroes, 5 players,
yep,
5 AGEs. It's different every time.
no dupes.
A Dromai one, a Craig one. Now we have a Briar one.
Yeah, we had
Orinthia
and an
last
Icelander, John
That's
Zapata.
crazy. So 5 heroes, 5 metas. What I'm trying to say is, wow, what parity we have in our group. We got great players that can spike a tournament, or they can take a pilot of some deck they've loved forever.
Yeah,
Anything is possible.
yeah. No, and it's great that you don't see the same person winning every time, which is
The
good.
next one's going to be the big one. It's going to
Yeah.
multiply everything by 2, get a
Yep.
gold foil.
Yep,
Who's
PTIs.
going to win Battle Hardened?
Well, I got to win it
Gotta
because
play better than today, bro.
I got to play better than today. But there's the big stuff's on the line.
What happens if round 1 next? What is it next month? It's Zach versus Craig. Or
My worst showing at a tournament ever was the first Battle Hard in LA. So I'm ready for.
Well, if it happens
turn it
again
around.
this time, you're welcome anytime to come
Yeah,
talk crap about some of the
Yeah.
other people
If-
you've
if
been
you-
practicing with.
yeah. If you see me in the booth, it means things didn't go well.
Oh, I'll be in the booth myself.
Yeah.
I'll see you all right.
Yeah.
What's interesting is we have some sponsors. One final time. Arcane Game Events is proudly sponsored by.
Collector Legion. Come get your Fab singles, your Magic singles.
Oh,
And
have you done this
Fri-
before?
No. We have armories, Friday Night Magic. Anything you need.
You're pretty good at that. Savage Land's News Bounty. Savage Land News. He was in the chat earlier. He was talking to everybody. He was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I love this stuff." Follow them on YouTube. Go see what they're all about.
Mr. Savage Lance himself.
I don't know if that's if it's like a TMZ type thing, or if it's like, here's just news from LSS said in a fun way. That's always there for you.
Well, check out his YouTube channel and find out at Savage Lance News.
Also sponsored by Chris Ioli.
World famous Chris
Yeah.
Allen.
He was introduced in the top 6 or top 8 as the world famous Chris Ioli. What else do we got here? Click. Battle Hardened's coming. It's very important to go sign up as soon as possible
Yep.
because spots are leaving as soon as possible.
People are coming. The competitors want to play. The West Coast is desperate for big events. So they're sold out already.
Oh my
and
God.
we're of over a month to go. So you should come and make sure you get your spot and you can be a champion of a West Coast event.
I just got another word from our man upstairs. It just went to half sold out as we were talking about.
Oh my goodness.
So go there right now. Get your credit card out.
Right, another 10 just sold while you're saying that.
Oh,
This is
crap.
nuts.
Hurry up. Most of all, I'm really enjoying our tournament today. It was like, it's cool to see new Lexi stuff, new anti-Lexi stuff.
Yeah.
There's Katsu's out there. Katsu can apparently beat Lexi. Let's go. Build a Katsu deck, try it out, see what you can do. As long as you don't play Oldham, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I didn't play Oldham at all.
They all dodged me. Yeah, who doesn't want a Kadachi for one?
Not me. If I can't Kadachi for one, take me out of here on my back. Speaking of taking me out on here on my back, we are going to be done for the day. We're going to do some credits. Most of all, thanks for talking to us. Thanks for having us. It's very fun to bring Flesh and Blood at whatever level to the people. And
Yeah.
it's nice to see, like, oh, Craig, you're from that one show, right?
Yeah,
Now
no.
you're going to be the commentator, Craig, too.
Yes, thank you for having me in the booth. This has been great, and thank you, everybody.
We had to stretch our legs, so we
Yeah.
needed a third person.
Yep, perfect.
You were great. Keep it
All
real, and see
Take
you
care.
next time.